Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It's a little earlier. It is 1:12 a.m. and I'm trying to start my vlog a little bit earlier tonight. I don't know how long I'm gonna vlog. It may be an hour, it may be 5 hours, I don't know. But I'm trying to start it a little bit earlier tonight. It's not gonna be 5 hours, you know that. Everybody just went to look and see how long it was. It's not gonna be 3 hours. But I wanted to start a little bit earlier tonight because, well, I've been wanting to start it earlier the last couple nights, and it just doesn't happen. And then I end up staying up super late. Last night, I ended up watching this documentary that I was gonna make this video about today, but then I found out, I was sent like 2 messages about it, and so I thought the documentary just came out, and so like I rushed and watched it, and it was a horrible documentary. But I watched it, and then I watched 2 episodes of James Charles, Instant Influencer, to do like my response to it because I knew the finale was coming out today. And then I couldn't sleep after that. Then I think I was just like so, you know, like awake, that I just couldn't fall asleep. I had such a hard time falling asleep last night, even though I didn't take a nap or anything. And so tonight I was like, I am going to, I don't know how much of this I'm going to put on. I'm losing it. I was like, tonight I'm going to start my vlog a little bit earlier, crack my knuckles, and then I am going to and then I am going to try to go to bed. I mean, not super early because I just don't, you know, but like, if I could get into bed by 3 or 4, that would be great. I know that you guys are like, oh, swoon, that's so late, right? But like for me, that's actually earlier. And if I was in bed by 4 and asleep by 4, then I could get up at like between 11 and 12. And like for me, that would be good. Alex has some meetings and stuff tomorrow that he has to go to. So I will, you know, have the day to film videos, and then we'll just hang out during the night. Because I went to bed so late last night, or I went to bed this morning, oh my God, I forgot. I had the worst cramping in like my abdomen yesterday, or this morning when I was trying to go to bed. I was like, oh it literally was like some of the worst cramping I've ever felt in my entire life. And I couldn't figure out what it was. Like it would like, you know, it would hit me for like 30 seconds and then it would be like, ooh, and then it would kind of go away. And so I don't know what that was, but anyway, so finally it went away after like 40 minutes, and then I was able to fall asleep. But I just did not have a great morning. And I think, you know, honestly, in the past, like when I'm stressed out or when I have anxiety, you know, over something that's happening, like my stomach hurts a lot over it. Like I've been able to, you know, directly relate like stress and anxiety. Is there something behind me? I felt like I see a light behind me. I feel like I can directly relate like stress and anxiety to like my stomach stuff. And I think like, I don't know, I just think like as stuff is opening up here in Indianapolis a little bit, I think maybe I'm a little freaked by it. I did go today. I got my first Starbucks in 60 days. And I have to say, it was nice to see all of them. You know, I mean, I was literally like in the window for what, like 30 seconds. But I have to say, I really like my coffee out of the Keurig just as much, and I'm saving money at home. So I don't know that I'm gonna go to Starbucks every day. I don't know that I care that much, and I didn't even finish it, you know? And they actually gave me this coffee for free today because they were like, here, we're just gonna give it to you for free because you haven't been here and we missed you and whatever. They were really, really nice. And it was packed when I was out today. I was kind of like, I literally did like 1 loop and then I came back home. I was just like, I don't know. Like, so anyway, and then and then Alex came home from work and I was like getting some video stuff done, and he just kind of hung out. He's like spending the majority of his time playing his game, Township. He's obsessed with this game. I'll probably drink a little bit of this, but I also brought a Diet Coke too, which I will actually pour right now. I was trying to get a hold of Tanya, but my phone was charging and I was like laying down in bed, but Alex went to sleep, and so I was just kind of like, I was looking the other way and I didn't see that she texted me and she said, are you up? Before, when I had called her, I think she was asleep. she and I are like off schedules right now, so I didn't even get to talk to Tanya today. But anyway, there is something about a Diet Coke. I know, it's so bad for me, but I love it. And then it was Melissa's birthday today. And a couple of our friends, there was like 5 couples that we hang out and do stuff with. And one of our friend that we had done the birthday thing for her, Erin, she arranged like this, you know, drive-by that we were gonna do like at Melissa's house at 6:30. And so then we what do you call it? Oh shoot. So Alex and I made like signs, like poster board signs and stuff like that. And where can I put this can? We put the made poster board signs that said "We love you, Melissa" and stuff. And so then we like did the drive-by, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And we got out and we all like, you know, stood kept our distance and kind of like just like talked in the cul-de-sac and stuff for a little bit. And but we didn't stay out there. We were like there for a very, very brief amount of time. And I was trying to get this video up, and then I guess Melissa had said something to Alex about like getting carry out and doing it in the parking lot and all that kind of stuff. So like, you know, with our cars and all that deal. So I think they're opening the restaurants up though, not in Indianapolis, but in Hamilton County, which is like Fisher's and whatever. I think they're open at 50% capacity now. I think you can go and eat outside and all that, but not in Indianapolis. So we did carry out Cheesecake Factory tonight, and that was okay. It was just like my stomach had kind of been hurting all day anyway, and I've just been eating stuff at home. I haven't, you know, been doing that. And so I got an Impossible Burger and fries, and Alex got a cheeseburger and fries, and yeah. I don't love that, like, eating in the back of your car kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not real fun for me. But, you know, anyway, it is what it is. So, yeah, that was kind of our night. And then, Alex came home and he was playing his game, and I was doing some stuff around the house, and it just, then the day was over. The day went real quick today. Anyway, I'll sip of my coffee first. And that was kind of it. And, you know, today was the first day that Indianapolis was open and you could, like, go out and do stuff. Businesses were open to 50% capacity, I think, today. Which was interesting because when I drove by, I am going to go out and drive here in just a little bit, too. Like, I'm going to do, like, I think my vlogs going forward for a little while, I'm going to do half and half. We'll just kind of see, because I like reading through the comments and stuff, and I can do that, like, when I'm sitting in the driveway. I was actually just reading comments before I started. But, like, it was interesting, like, seeing, like, stores and stuff. Like, I drove by this, like, strip mall where Ulta is, because it's real close to our house. And Ulta was empty. So I don't know if maybe they're not opening their stores yet, but I know, or maybe like the stores in the malls and stuff are opening tomorrow at 50% capacity. But I know that Indianapolis, they're allowed to open, like non-essential businesses are allowed to open starting tomorrow. It's just hair salons and stuff and gyms that aren't allowed to open until I think the 24th or June 1st. I read it yesterday, so I don't remember. But my hair salon is in Carmel anyway, so, which is, they've been open now for, I think they opened on the 11th. So anyway, and I'm finally going to be getting, oh my God, the lid came off of this. I'm finally going to be getting this mop cut. I kind of like it longer now. I have to say, like, when I wear a hat now, this part curls up. It's kind of cute, but it doesn't do that like any other time. But anyway, I'm getting my hair cut. I think it's on the 24th. I actually don't know what day of the week. That's still a long way away. It's like 8 or 9 days away. Like, oh my God. At this point, it doesn't matter though, you know. I can't be getting my hair cut on the 24th because that's a Sunday. So that's not the truth. I don't know. I have the email somewhere. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But like to go in, they're only doing so many people at a time, and I have to wear a mask, and I have to keep the mask on the whole time, and then we have to wait in our cars. It's very much like how the vet was, like when we took the dogs to the vet like a long time ago. And then you wait in your car, and then they call you when they're ready for you, and then you walk in, and you don't get checked in or anything. You go like right to the station, and then my stylist has like, you know, protective gear, glasses, mask, and everything on. I think gloves. We have to hold the glove in place. Like, they told me everything, you know, making the appointment. To, like, hold the mask in place. So I'm, like, fine with all of that. You know what I mean? I'd rather do all that, you know? And I know things are going to be like that for a while. And this is, you know, I'm just, at this point, I'm kind of like, if we can kind of move forward a little bit, but take the precautions. Like, I don't know, I feel like everybody that I know was kind of like complaining that they had to stay at home, and now that we're like being able to go do some stuff, it's like, oh God, we have to wear masks and our haircut. I'm like, well, you get to get your haircut. Like, I'm not complaining about that, you know what I mean? It's like, it's keeping them safe, it's keeping us safe. So, yeah. But I was surprised how many people were out on the roads. I mean, it was packed today when I drove around. I was kind of surprised. So, that was my day. And then, I think tomorrow it's supposed to be real nice again. It rained early today, but then it kind of let up. Let's see. It's 60 degrees right now, it says. In my car, it says it's 61. It's actually very nice out tonight. It's muggy, and you know I love that. I like go back and forth, and then people are like, well, you said you liked muggy, and now you say you don't. Well, I love it right now, okay? I think it's because, like, coming out of winter, I like the mugginess. You know, I like the humidity because it feels like warmth on your skin. But then, like, later in the summer when it's like you can't breathe because it's so muggy, I don't like that. But right now, I love it. It says tonight it's going to be 75. What? It's not going to go from 61 to 75, please. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be 77 with a 40% chance of rain. And then Sunday, 77 with an 80% chance of rain. And then Monday, 60 again with 40% chance of rain. And then Tuesday, 66. Wednesday, 67. I mean, we're eventually going to get to the point in the next 2 weeks where it's just warm every day. I mean, we're going to be in June in 2 weeks, right? Can you even believe it? I told Alex today, I think all of these drive-by birthday parties and stuff are real nice. I do. And then, you know, like everybody gets... It's just weird. It's weird because, you know, like, you don't go up and hug anybody. You don't even go up and shake somebody's hand. You know what I mean? Like, and you like, keep at a distance. And so you're like, hey, how are you? Good. How are the kids? It's just real weird, you know? I don't like it. And so I told Alex, because, like, you know, his birthday and my birthday are both in June. And I said, I hope this, like, we can go do something for our birthday or whatever. I said, and he goes, yeah. He goes, I don't know that I really care. And I go, I don't know that I really care either. Like, I said, but I'll tell you right now, I said, don't do one of these drive-by birthday parties for me. Not in our neighborhood, okay? All of our neighbors will be like, what's going on? There's like, you know, this, what's that called? When you have like a, it was a movie back in the day. What was that movie called? Where they had like all the semis in a row? Like, what's that? Oh, darn it. What's that called? When, you know, like, shoot, I have got to Google this, and I know it's not gonna come up. It's called something way. You guys, I know somebody's shouting it at me, but it's like when, like, all the cars in a row, you know, like, what was the movie called? And it was like they did it across country. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And it's usually semis. What is it called when semis drive in a row? What is it called? Why can't I think of what it's called? This is not it. Oh my God, this is driving me crazy. I think Burt Reynolds was in the movie. Movies. I know people are like screaming at me. And they're like, it's called this, it's called this. No, he was in the Smokey and the Bandit movies. But it was like that. It was like that same era. Come it a convoy? Is that what it's called? What is a convoy? Hold on a second. Convoy. Go away. I think that's what it's called. Convoy. How did I just come up with that? If that's what it's called, I will die. A group of ships or vehicles traveling together, typically accompanied by armed troops, warships, or other vehicles for protection. Okay, I do not need a that's what it was called. There is a movie. I sort of got to look it up. It was probably like 1976. Hold on a second. Convoy movie. I do not need a convoy of my friends coming through here with Tanya Jean leading the way, you know? 1978. I was so close. Who is it with? Here's, if you ever want to watch it, Trucker Martin Rubber Duck Penwald. Wait, Trucker Martin Rubber Duck Penwald, played by Chris Christopherson, and his buddies Pigpen, Burt Young, Widow Woman, Madge Sinclair, and Spider Mike. What was the movie with Jack Nicholson? And why can't I think of her name? The one that was in The House of a Thousand Corpses. And she screams at him at the end because he leaves her there. It's something about change. Pick up and run, or no, I was gonna say with Six You Get a Girl. What was that? God, that was a great movie though. What was isn't that a movie called, wasn't that the movie my mom loved? It was like the families that came together and they had like kids. I think it was called With Six You Get a Girl. It's so hot in here. But what was the movie? I can't even think of her name, but she's fantastic. I love her. And she's like real famous, like in the 70s. I'll look it up in just a second. Hold on. And Spider Mike, Franklin Augier, use their CB radios to warn one another of the presence of cops, but conniving Sheriff Wallace, Ernest Borgnine, is hip to the truckers' tactics and begins tricking the drivers through his own CB broadcasts. Facing constant harassment from the law, Rubber Duck and his pals use their radios to coordinate a vast convoy and rule the rest. This is when movies were good. I'm just telling you right now, okay? Okay, hold on a second. Jack Nicholson. What was that movie called? And they're sitting in that. Do you remember it gets real sad at the end? And then they're sitting in that diner, and then he like leaves, and she's sitting there, and she's all by herself. She's so pissed. She comes screaming out in the parking lot. Not Easy Rider, but that was about 5 Easy Pieces. 5 Easy Pieces. This was such a great movie. It's so tragic and sad though. But here it is. Let's read about it and it'll tell us who she is. Rejecting his cultured upper-class background as a classical pianist, Robert Dupay, Jack Nicholson, opts for blue-collar existence, working in a California oil field. Is this the... Yeah, this is it. And spending time with his waitress girlfriend, Rayette. Yes, Karen Black! Karen Black! Oh my god, I love her so much. But when Robert discovers that his father is gravely ill, he wants to reunite with his estranged family in the state of Washington. He and Rayette take a road trip that brings the two paths of his life to an uncomfortable intersection. He leaves her on the side of the road. He can't be bothered with her. Okay, Karen Black. She is so fantastic. She died. I didn't know that. She died in 2013. She was so good. Look at some of these movies that she was in. Trilogy of Terror, 5 Easy Pieces, Airport 1975. God, those Airport, do you remember those movies? Horrible. Burnt Offerings, Family Plot, that was an Alfred Hitchcock movie. House of a Thousand Corpses, one of the finest movies ever. The Day of the Locust. Do you know I've never seen that? Easy Rider. I don't even, like, it has been so long since I've seen that movie, I don't remember it. I need to watch these movies. Nashville, I think Lily Tomlin is at it. It's super long. I remember to get when we would go, like, the video store back in the day, my mom and I, like, that was like a double VCR. Nashville was real long. The original Great Gatsby. Did she play Daisy in the original Great Gatsby? Invaders from Mars, Cisco Pike. Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean. I think Deborah Winger was in that, wasn't she? Hold on a second. Cher, Sandy Dennis, and Karen Black. God, she was such a phenomenal actress. I know some people didn't like her, but I really liked her. She was in Children of the Corn 4. Was she in anything that would surprise me? Do you guys remember those movies? I was obsessed with these movies when I was a kid. They were called Angel. And it was like High School Student by Day, Hollywood Hooker by Night. Do you guys remember those movies? They were actually really well done. Let me see if I can find it. It's not pulling it up. It's like movies about angels? No. Her name was Angel. And they were always on really late at night. Imagine that. And that one guy that was like a really famous comedian, I think he just recently died, with the long hair. He was always in them too. Angel movie. I have to put in Hollywood Hooker, because that's what it would say on the box. I remember it said High School Student by Day, Hollywood Hooker by Night. And here it is. I just pulled it up, and because on one side of the box it shows her as a student, and on the other side, you guys think I'm lying. Okay, look right here. I swear to God, you guys. Okay, here it is. Do you see this? How I ever remember this, I will never know. Okay, do you guys see? Okay, pull over here, box. Come on. Look at that. There she is. Student on one side. Okay, and then if you go and you read the box, it says at the top of it, it says High School Honor Student by Day, Hollywood Hooker by Night. How did I ever remember that? And then at the bottom of it, it says, her two worlds are about to collide. It's her choice, her chance, her life. I feel like there was a sequel to it, too. Thriller, sexploitation. They were good, though. An honor student turns to prostitution so that she can pay her tuition at an exclusive California high school. But it was like a thriller, I remember, back in the day. It was with Donna Wilkes. She played Angel. Susan Tyrell. I don't know who any of these people are, but where's the one guy that I was talking about that was in it? He was really funny. Maybe he was in the second one. I feel like there was an... Was there an Angel too? It got like, it actually got on Letterboxd, it got 3 stars. Rotten Tomatoes, it didn't get bad reviews. Is that not so funny? IMDb gave it 3 stars. I feel like there was a sequel to it. Let's see. Donna Wilkes. I don't know how I remember these movies. She was actually in like more than... Oh, she was in Just... Oh my God, you know who she was? Okay, I was looking at her, I was like, she looks familiar, but I can't figure out who she was. The girl that played Angel played the girl in Jaws 2 that's come to visit for the summer, the real cute girl that all the boys like have crushes on. She was in 90210 Shark Attack in Beverly Hills. That was in 2014. I can't believe... Oh my God, that's so crazy. Angel 2. I guess I'm gonna put it in Hollywood Hooker. I don't know. What do you... I know there was a sequel to it. And that's just saying one. Avenging Angel. Here it is. Avenging Angel. In a sequel to the 1984 Shoot 'em Up, Angel the Vigilante returns to the streets to track down her guardian's killer. Susan Tyrell was in this one too. There's a new Angel though. People also search for Death Wish. Do you know what is another one of my favorite? I'm gonna see this Angel movie. Okay, I don't know who it was that commented this on my video and told me about this JustWatch thing, but I use this app all the time. I'm obsessed with it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, first of all, let me just tell you that I've always been a night owl. I can't sleep, right? So when I would be at my dad's house, like in the summers and whatever, when I was a kid, and I don't mean like 6, I mean like 12 up, I would stay up super late at night, and we had Showtime and Cinemax and HBO and all those shows, and so I would watch all of these B-list movies, these horrible movies, but somehow, like, they like really had an impact on me. Like, I can remember them, I loved them, and all this kind of stuff. There was this movie, And every time I mention it in a vlog, people always guess like 50 different things, and it's always like, no, 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 no. Like, let me give you an example of one of the movies that like had an impact on me. There's a movie called Death Valley, and actually somebody linked it to me and showed me where I could find it, and I ended up watching it not too long ago, like probably 2 months ago. But Death Valley was a movie with that Peter Billingsley that was in A Christmas Story, and it was about his mom is like, his parents got divorced, and his mom is like getting married to somebody new, and so they go on this trip, and he witnesses like a murder, and they go to these like, they go to this ghost town and stuff. It's a really great movie, like very, very well done and very scary. And so like that was one of the, I remember like all these weird movies from back in the day. There was this movie, I have no idea what it was. It was long before Thelma and Louise, because Thelma and Louise is one of my favorite movies. But it was about these two, it was like a B-list kind of movie, you know, with these two girls that were like horrible actresses in it. And they were like in this convertible car, and they were going to like, they were like in Texaco or already in Mexico, and their plan was to go to like Puerto Vallarta or Cancun or Cabo or somewhere. This movie would have taken place like in the late 70s, early 80s, okay? And they were like on the run from something. Like they had killed somebody and they were on the run. It's these two girls, or it had something to do with drugs or something, I don't know. But they were on the run, and they were in this convertible, and they were like trying to get to this resort in Mexico. I have no idea what this movie is, but like I was obsessed with it. Another movie was a made-for-TV movie. And my friends and I all watched it this one summer. I've tried to figure out what this movie is too, and I can't figure it out. And it's like 6 friends. It's not I Know What You Did Last Summer, okay? Because I love that movie, and I love the book by Lois Duncan. But it's like 6 friends are part of like they kill somebody by accident, and then like it haunts them. I mean, it's very much like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it's not I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's almost kind of darker than that, and not a horror movie. But my friends and I, we loved those movies back in the day. I can't remember what that one was called, but anyway. Let's go in here. So anyway, this app that's called JustWatch, you can look up anything. In fact, Mel and I used it tonight for our True Crime Book Club because we picked our serial killer for June. I'm very excited. But anyway, we were trying to pick a movie to do as like an extra credit thing in here, so we were seeing if it was in here. Let me see, Angel 1984. Oh, here it is. Okay, and it'll tell you where you can find it, and you can't watch it anywhere, apparently. Oops, we couldn't find any streaming offers. Add it to your wish list. I mean, you can't even rent this thing from anywhere. It's got a trailer, though. Because it'll tell you where you can rent it from and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But there's nowhere. And this JustWatch literally has, like, every old movie on here. I wonder if I, like... Anyway. Yeah, it's not. You can't find it anywhere. I don't actually think that girl is who played Angel. I think maybe, I don't know. It couldn't be on YouTube because it's too provocative, I think. Angel, 1984. No, there's no way. Are you kidding me? They sure do have it on here. And you can watch it in parts. Can you believe that? I am amazed. You can watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I'm really surprised. I guess not. It probably really wasn't that bad for 1984. Here they have Angel 1984 full version. English full version. Angel 1984 English version full movie. I don't know what that means. Has 80,000 views. Are there comments on it? Oh, this must be it, because people are like, today this film celebrates its 35th anniversary release. Such a great one. You guys totally missed my freak out. The entire version is on here. It's the first thing that comes up when you put in Angel 1984 movie. It's Angel 1984, English version, full movie, and it's like the best, it's like the best copy of it. Oh my God, I'm gonna watch that later. Isn't it funny the things that we remember, like from our childhood? Like movies and stuff like that. I got kind of always really like weirdly obsessed with like those bad movies. I'll tell you like badly filmed movies. I'll tell you like a movie that like really freaked me out when I was growing up. Like I loved to watch scary movies, horror movies, excuse me, when I was growing up. And I love the classics, you know, the Friday the 13th and the Halloweens. I actually, interesting story, I didn't really start falling in love with the whole Halloween franchise until I became, like, until I was in high school. I liked it before that, but that wasn't, like, one of my favorite all-time Halloween movies. I don't even really, or Halloween, or, like, horror movies. I don't even know what it was. Actually, when I was growing up, scary movie-wise, I loved to watch movies that had a lot to do with Halloween. Like, I loved Something Wicked This Way Comes, which isn't really about Halloween, but it's the... Why do I have this on tonight? I just turned it off with my cup. But it's the film version of the Ray Bradbury movie. And, it's just called the October Country. It takes place in, like, it's supposed to be in Illinois, but it was actually filmed in Vermont. And it's a beautiful setting, and it's about this carnival that comes to town. If you've never seen Something Wicked This Way Comes, it's fantastic. It's actually a Disney movie, I think. And then I loved The Lady in White. I was like, is Peter Billingsley in Something Wicked This Way Comes too? But no, it's a different kid that kind of looks similar to him. And then I loved The Lady in White, that was with that Lucas Haas, and he lived in a small town, and there had been a murder, and that did take place on Halloween, and that was very, very scary. He got locked in the school overnight, like on Halloween. Do you remember that? I love that. I loved stuff like that. I'm trying to think of what else. I didn't love like horror movies until I got older. Like when I was in high school, my friends and I started watching them a lot, like all of them. But one of them that I loved watching when I was a kid, and it really would scare me, like, well, besides the Jawses and stuff like that, was they've done a remake of it. You know what? Here it is. Now I can't remember what it's called. I have to look it up. Hold on a second. I'm not going to say it, because if I say it out loud, everybody will start shouting what it is. You need to just be patient. Okay, hold on a second. It'll come to me before I look it up anyway. Horror movie. Here, I'm going to say it out loud. About a trailer in the desert. It was about these people that were in this, you know, like this, like, RV in the desert. Did you get, The Hills Have Eyes. I haven't even pulled it up. I'm on N, and I know it's The Hills Have Eyes. But it had a guy that looked like he was from that band. I can't think of what that band is called, but you know, something, they sang that Oil song. No, we want the original Hills Have Eyes. The remake is stupid. I didn't even pull that one up. Hills Have Eyes. Why can't I think, original? The guy from Poltergeist, the Poltergeist movies, I loved watching those, but those were terrifying too. Okay, The Hills Have Eyes guy. This one, do you remember this from back in the day? That scared the hell out of me back then. And that guy looks like, I can't remember what that band is called. Do you guys remember that band? And he was like, I can't remember the, what was the song? A song about oil, something about oil or gas. If I put in something about gas, it'll come up Gasolina. Song about oil. Or what was the band? It's something like, Beds Are Burning Midnight Oil. How did I even, like, I don't even know how like, this is why I'm real good at those games like Apples to Apples. Like, I can't put it completely together, but I have like fragments in my head. But do you guys remember the guy from Midnight Oil? Okay, here, I'm gonna show you. That's who I always thought it was. Main singer. Hold on. Is he the main singer? Peter Garrett. Australian rock band. Okay. Like, seriously, doesn't this dude look kind of like him? I mean, not now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, kind of not really, but like, yeah, they both have shaved heads. But I like used to think they looked so much like. Do you remember that song Midnight Oil? I totally forgot all about that song. But anyway, and then when I was in high school, I loved the Phantasm movies. Do you remember the Phantasm movies? Okay, let's get off of movies for a second, and can we just talk about this comment that I received? I just want to read you this comment, okay? I'm not very happy about this comment. Where is it? So a lot of people, I was talking about my dreams, and so a lot of people commented about my dreams. And so, Aya said, Peter, since you always talk about your dreams, I'm curious to know if you've ever seen this man in your dreams. Then she links this link, and she says, love the vlogs, blue heart, stay safe. Okay, I have a bone to pick with you. So I go to this link, right? And it's a Wikipedia. And it just says at the top of it, this man, okay? And there's a drawing on here. I am not happy about this, okay? I'm gonna tell you why in just a second. So she puts this, so here it is. This is the Wikipedia page. You can see I'm not making this up. She linked this, and here's the Wikipedia page of this guy, okay? And you can see at the top here it says, this man, okay? And then there he is with his unibrow and everything, okay? Here he is. Have you seen him? All right. She's asking me, where'd it go? Hello? Are you there? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. Okay. So she's asking me if I've seen this guy. So I'm looking at him and thinking to myself, it says underneath it, drawing of this man. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I've ever seen this guy. I don't know this guy. How would I know that I knew this guy? Not how would I know. How would I know if I... You get it. Okay. So I'm looking at it and I read the description. It says, this man, according to a website created in 2008 by Italian marketer Andrea Nutella, not Nutella, but Nutella. I do love that Nutella stuff. That named Ever Dreamless Man was a person who was claimed to have been repeatedly seen in dreams by the whole world since 2006, but was never found in real life. I mean, rather average looking, I think, this man is. Nutella created the site in 2018, but it was not until October 2009 that it gained attention from the press and online internet users. This man's notoriety spawned several... that is a word I always struggle with. I'm very proud that I just got that all out smoothly. This man's notoriety spawned several internet memes that spoofed flyers of the website, references in films and television shows like The X-Files, and a manga series based on the hoax by Weekly Shonen magazine in 2010. Nutella confirmed that this man was a hoax that was part of a guerrilla marketing stunt. Some sources claimed it was meant to promote a film of the same name by Brian Bertino and Ghost House Pictures that never came into fruition. Story of the hoax. Okay, according to Nutella, some emails sent to thisman.org compared the look of this man to real-life people such as Andrew Lloyd Webber and, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. As Ever Dreamless Man, the website under the domain thisman.org claims this man was first drawn by a well-known psychiatrist from New York. The site does not identify which. In January 2006, while dealing... This is really genius, okay, to screw with people's heads like mine. Because if it didn't say this was a hoax, I can tell you right now, tonight, I'm going to have a dream of this man. I just know it, okay? And then people are... Because there's another comment in here about how... This got me all stressed out. About how you're not supposed to listen to those apps like Calm and stuff like that. Because they have subliminal messages on them or something. But anyway, now I'm all stressed about that. I didn't buy them. I swear I didn't. Okay? Okay, wait. In January 2006, while dealing with a female patient... Oh, wait, this is drawn by a psychiatrist. Okay. From New York. The site does not identify which... Psychiatrist in New York... Wait. It doesn't matter, okay? Okay, as Ever Dreamless Man, the website under the domain thisman.org claims, this man was first drawn by a well-known psychiatrist from New York. The site does not identify which, of course it doesn't, in January 2006, while dealing with a female patient that claimed to keep seeing this man in her dreams. A few days later, one of the psychiatrist's male patients recognized the man from the drawing and said he also saw the man while sleeping. Both patients claimed they never saw him in real life. The psychiatrist then sent the picture to 4 other colleagues who were dealing with people having repeated dreams, and 4 of those colleagues' patients identified the man and described him as this man. According to the storyline, later on, more than 2,000 people from other major cities across the world, such as Los Angeles, Berlin, Sao Paulo, Tehran, Beijing, Rome, Barcelona, Stockholm, Paris, New Delhi, and Moscow, claim to have seen this man while sleeping. Stories from those who dreamed him, who remained anonymous, suggest he was a Brazilian school teacher who had 6 fingers on his right hand. These dreamers' experiences of the man varied from romantic, sexual, or deadly situations to flying with a man to just seeing him staring at the dreamer and doing nothing. Andrea Nutella, when interviewed by Vice magazine for an article that took the myth seriously, thus making Nutella answer the questions as if it were for real, explained that he first dreamed this man before he was aware of who he really was. It was in the winter of 2008, and this man invited him to create a website to find an answer for his own appearance. What? Following this man's instructions, he not only made the site, but also produced the mysterious man's identikit using the mobile device application Ultimate Flash Face. An actual living human that looked like this man was never identified, and there were some who dreamed of him who had no relationship with others also seeing him in their dreams. His voice was also unidentifiable, as it is much harder for someone to remember the audio part of a dream than visual. It was also rare for him to speak in the dreams. However, Nutella claimed that he received letters and emails that compare this man's look to that of fictional characters such as the Man from Another Place and the Dummy, and famous real-life figures such as Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Andrew Lloyd Webber. He also claimed that some, including an Indian guru named Arud Kanan Aya. There is no way, now I'm telling you right now, okay, there is no way that there is a coincidence, and it's spelled the exact same way as the person that left this comment on my I didn't get down this far before, claim themselves to be this man but with no evidence. Is this man commenting on my video? Thisman.org suggested 5 theories of the phenomenon. The man was an example of Carl Jung's concept of the unconscious archetypal image people see during very difficult life situations. This man was a manifestation of God. A corporation was mentally conditioning multiple people to dream the same man. Some people dreamt the man only after learning about others seeing him. Because it's hard for humans to remember people's faces in dreams, people are inaccurately using Nutella's identikit of this man to describe the person in their recurring dreams. Anyway, interesting, isn't it? Now, is it spelled the exact same way as the person that left the comment? I got you. I figured you out. I don't think it is. Maybe I'm wrong. It is! Are you the man? Oh my god, now I'm freaked out. Silent Girl X said, just finished watching and it's about 5. Isn't that freaky though? That just kind of freaks me out completely. Just finished watching and it's 5. But I also think that as humans we're highly, I mean the whole thing was a hoax, so none of it was true, right? But I think we're, as humans, we're like highly susceptible to like, you know, suggestion of, you know, so if you say something, then could you possibly dream about it? Sure. Silent Girl X said, just finished watching and it's 5:14 a.m. The sun is coming up and the birds are chirping right along the vlog. We are right along to the... I can't read tonight. Just finished watching, it's 5:14 a.m. The sun is coming up and the birds are chirping right along to the vlog. We are 100% on the same sleep schedule, and when people ask you about it, I can totally relate to your answer. It is what it is. It works for us. It's hard. I mean, like, people just don't get it. Well, who was I talking to? And they were like... I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like... I have to be up tomorrow morning. Like, I can't believe I have to be up at 7. And it was like, when was this? I was having this conversation because it was like 11:30 or 12. It wasn't tonight. I mean, this was like earlier in the week. And I was like, what do you have to get up for tomorrow at 7? I don't know what just happened to my hairdo, but whatever. And she was like, I mean, I'm not gonna waste my day. Okay. I'm not wasting mine either. I'm actually more productive up late at night because there's nobody in my way. And you see, like, I get up and I film my videos, you know, like, and Alex is relaxing, or like he's, you know, still got a couple hours left of work or whatever. And then we get to enjoy the evening. And then, like, I get there's nobody out here bothering me. I mean, they better not come up and bother me, because I'll start honking my horn like nobody's business. My mom taught me one time, and I do believe this, like, if you're walking down the street and somebody starts, like, following you, or if somebody is, like, harassing you and stuff, you just start acting all crazy like this, and they'll walk away. They will walk away. You start shouting, ah, like this, and start acting like you're crazy and stuff. People just they'll stop following you. They'll stop bothering you. I believe it too. If somebody came up here right now, I would honk this horn like nobody's business. I'm telling you right now, every time that something has happened in this neighborhood in the last 2 months, when the police have come, every one of my neighbors is out in the street watching. If I honk this horn, if I even just honk this horn like 3 times, like real loud, like, they'd all come out. Now they'd have to get their canes, and it might take them, you know, 20 minutes, but they come out sooner or later. So anyway, I'm just saying, just in case that would ever happen. It better never, though. Okay. Stephanie said, bless your mom, peace and hugs to all those who feel grief. So, you know Stephanie. I know Stephanie from way back in the day. I don't know if she ever met my mom or not. I'm like I bet she probably did. I'm almost positive she met my dad and she knew my dad and my stepmom from high school. Because we used to go out on the boat and stuff. Girl, we need to well, we can't get together right now, but we need to catch up. It's time. Okay. Haley said, Peter turns on his turn signal while sitting in his car in the driveway. LOL, you subconsciously wish you were driving while vlogging. Love you, Peter. Okay, first of all, it was an accident. Second of all, I don't turn on I don't turn on my turn signal. Okay, Haley. I turn on my windshield wipers. But that's pointless too. Love ya. Love you like a sis. Do you remember when you would write that on letters? You put Lilas on it. So dumb. Why did we do that back in the day? Or do you remember those things? I don't know why I just remembered this. Well, first of all, okay, one of the things I feel like the kids really miss out on today in school is passing notes. Like, I don't know if they still do it because they have cell phones and stuff, but like we would pass notes back in the day. I loved passing notes back in the day. Oh my God, I have all my notes from high school in my basement. But do you remember that thing like when you were younger, like not when you were in high school, but when you were like in elementary school, like 5th grade, 4th grade, and you would do that thing, and I could never fold it, but my girlfriends could, and it was that thing you put your hands in, you go, and then say like, how many kids you're gonna have? And then go, 15. I'd be like, I'm gonna have 15 kids, do it again. 15, you know, and then I would say like, you're gonna marry somebody with what color eyes? And be like, blue. And do you remember that thing? That paper thing that they make? Oh my God, I always wanted those. And then I would ask my girlfriends, I would say, make one for me so I can take it home, because I wanted to do it, I wanted my mom to do it, you know, because I thought it'd be real fun. And my girlfriends never would. They'd be like, no, you need to learn how to make your own. I always thought that was so mean. Then I do remember, I had this one girl, she was so smart. She graduated like 3rd in her class or something like that. But she would always like teach herself this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, she was super smart, and she would like teach herself, and she would like, I don't know, like teach herself how to, like, before we even were taking foreign languages, she was like teaching herself languages and stuff like that. And I don't know, the teacher would come up, you know, I'm not gonna say what her name was, but let's just say if it's Judy. You know, we were in like second grade, and the teacher would come up and go, Judy's been practicing American Sign Language. Judy, would you like to come up and sign for us while we do the entire class today? And you know, like Judy would come up there, and she was so perfect and everything. And can you tell I was a little bitter towards Judy? We were never really good friends, but we did go to school together for 12 years, true story, okay? Well, Judy, because our names were very closely aligned to each other, was always in my homeroom for things. And Judy, like in middle school, junior high, she started practicing origami. And I remember she would bring these books to school about like the art of paper folding and all this kind of stuff, and she would bring them to school. And she would have, I wanted them so bad. You know, like when you want something and you don't even know why? Like, do you remember when the string bracelets were like real famous, and then like girls would like bring, they'd have like in their bag, they'd have just like reams of that colored string. And I couldn't make those bracelets to save my life. The best I could do was braid it like a braid on your head. You know what I mean? I couldn't make no fancy bracelets, but I wanted those reams of string that cost you like literally like 29 cents at the Meijer and the Walmart. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the reams of thread or whatever. Not thread, but like string. But Judy, she had, I was so pissed. She had this like little like tool thing that she took with her, like toolbox with all of her, she was very artsy, that she would take with all, she was very like, she ended up like going and doing something real artsy, so it paid off in the long run. I should have been reading those books too, probably, but I was too busy passing notes. See, that's why. I said it in a video not too long ago. I said something like, I speak so fast, and I said I almost didn't graduate from high school. It's a true story. I graduated with a 1.86. And I mean, none of my friends even knew that my grades were so bad in high school. I'll have to find my grades down in the basement, and I will true story prove it, okay? But anyway, some girl said, she thought she was like clocking me on something in my video. She goes, you said that you had a master's degree, but now you're saying you didn't graduate from high school. I was like, no, you need to pay attention, sister, okay? I graduated from high school. I almost didn't graduate from high school. I still can't believe that they did. They're probably like, just get him out of here. So anyway, but Judy, she had this like toolbox kit thing, right? And she had the string because she would do the bracelets, of course, too. And then she had like colored pins in there, and they're all organized real pretty. But then she had, do you remember that paper, that origami paper? It was like this. It was beautiful. And it would come in like red, like 3 shades of red, 3 shades of pink. It was gorgeous, the paper, and it was kind of like harder stock because you would use it for origami. And she would sit there in my homeroom class, and she was always either to my right or to my left. I can remember. It would depend on like where the teacher, like how she started us, you know. But she was always like right next to me, or right like one up in front of me, one way or the other. And she would sit there during class, and I don't know why every homeroom teacher we ever had would let her have. If it was me, the teacher would have been like, Peter, stop passing notes and doing all this crazy business. You need to put that away right now. We need to be studying. Probably because I had a 1.86, and Judy Smith over here, she had 4.0 plus extra credit, you know? So anyway, Judy would sit there in class, and she'd just sit here like this. She'd like have the book open, and she'd be like looking at it and listening with the teacher and whatever. And then I'll never forget, like halfway through the class, she put like at the end of her desk, she would like, and she would do it like all just like very quietly and whatever, you know? I will say this, she and I were in some art classes together in high school, and as quiet and demure as she was very, very shy, very smart, but like creative beyond belief. Like she did some stuff that was, we were in photography together, and she did some stuff that just blew me away. But anyway, so she would sit there, and she'd just be like real quiet, you know, whatever. And she would like, and what was real funny was like, I knew her like parents, because we had like gone to school forever and stuff, and my mom like knew her parents, and like our parents were friendly with each other, and her parents were like real loud, you know, like my mom and her parents would like be at school functions, like, ah, yeah, it was just like they were, everybody was, she was real quiet. So anyway, and always like, even though like we should have liked each other and been nice to each other, because she wasn't real popular or anything, and we had like, and I obviously wasn't, and we had like gone to school together I can't believe I'm even thinking of her. She's been so far off my radar for so long. But anyway, she like did not like me. I could not figure it out for the life of me. Like she just never liked me. I don't know what it was. I was always nice to her. But anyway, she would like halfway through class, you know, she'd be like taking something. I'd be like out of the corner of my eye, I'd be like watching, you know, and she'd take like a piece of white paper, and and this is exactly, she'd like take it, and then she'd be like, and I couldn't see what she was working on, see, because the book would be like in front of her, and so she'd be like, and you know, have you ever seen the it just shows like the folds and stuff, right? And so she'd be folding, and then she'd take a piece of pink, and then she'd fold it into that, and I'd be like, what is she making over there? And then I swear to God, about halfway through class, she would put it in the desk in front of her, and it would be this like little bunny rabbit or something, and I'd be like, oh, I want a little bunny rabbit like that. And let me just tell you what Judy Smith did, okay? And this pissed me off so bad. Every day at the end of our class, she would give it to somebody in class, or she would like, we would walk out in the hallway, and like one of her friends would come up to her and she'd give it to her. I always be like, she won't give me one of those damn animals. She did those origamis for years. I always wanted to learn how to do that stuff. I was creasing it and folding it the wrong way, throwing up. I got so frustrated. I actually did get one of those books one time. I always have wanted to be very crafty, but I'm not any good at it. You know what I mean? Like, my stuff always looks like such crap. I can remember my ex and I, he was very artistic, and Alex is very artistic. And I guess I would say I'm creative. I'm not artistic necessarily, you know? And, so my ex wanted to do these things, like, where we would, like, paint one day. Like, we would pick a word and then we would paint, right? I think I've told this story on here before. I don't even remember what he painted. I think it was, like, this beach scene or something. It was kind of like the end of the world kind of deal. You know, the world ends into the ocean. It was just this. So anyway, he said, we're going to open a dictionary. Whatever word we land on, or whatever word, I can't remember how it came up. But anyway, it's been so long. It's been like 20 years. But whatever word we come up with is the word that we're going to paint. And we came up with sadness was the word, right? So we have these, you know, canvases. And, like, I'm trying to, like, we're, like, kind of, like, you know, we're watching some TV in the background or something. I can't remember. Maybe we did it outside. I feel like maybe we went somewhere outside and did it. Anyway, we're, like, painting these canvases, and he's, like, very serious about it, you know, and whatever. And I'm like, I'm trying to take it seriously, but my painting skills suck, okay? So we get done, and, like, we're supposed to show each other, like, what we did, right? Now, remember, it's called sadness is what I was really good at photography when I was in high school. I loved photography, but the rest of it, I suck at. It just starts taking a long time, and I just don't have it. I just lose patience, okay? I'm ready to move on to the next project. I'm sure that probably hasn't surprised you guys that when I was a kid, like a little kid, I would start 15 projects in the same day, right? When we were doing puppet shows, I was scripting them and getting costumes ready, and then halfway through that, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna put together an album and record it on the tape recorder, and then halfway through that, I was ready to build a fort outside. You know, I mean, I was constantly changing ideas, you know? Then I wanted to roller skate and do a choreographed routine, but my mom had to, of course, watch everything that I did. You know, so if I did a puppet show, then my mom had to watch it. If I did a choreographed routine to Donna Summer's Hot Stuff, you know, then my mom had to sit in the driveway with a chair and a drink and everything. You know, like, there was always an ordeal with it. There was always a show that went along with it. It couldn't be, couldn't just come out there and stand and watch, you know. I had to have a costume, and then, you know, like, she would have to come out there and watch. And then, you know, it would have to be perfect timing when nobody else was out on the street to see me be foolish, you know, doing this choreographed backwards roller skating in the driveway ordeal to Donna Summer's Hot Stuff, you know, or Bad Girls. I love that song too. And then my mom would have to sit in this, like, yellow, oh my God, we have them out here in the garage. I just looked at them yesterday or the day before, and I was like, we need to throw those away. These, you know, fold out plastic chairs are so old, these yellow ones. And she'd have to sit there, but then I would have to, like, she had to have, like, you know, concession drink and, like, popcorn or something to watch the show, because it was like I was at Ice Capades. You guys think I'm lying. This is totally who I was, okay, when I was a kid. I don't know why I should be surprised by this today. But anyway. What was I talking about? I don't even know. I don't remember. Judy Smith and her origami. Bitch. She was so rude. She was so rude. If I go to that high school reunion this year and I see her, I'm gonna be like, hey, Judy, how's that paper folding happening for you? Oh, I didn't finish my story about my ex and I in the painting. So anyway. This is what happens as you get older, okay? You don't need weed, you don't need pot, you don't need alcohol, you don't need drugs. You start laughing at the ridiculousness of your life, okay, which you so took seriously. Like, I would really seriously get mad about it. Okay, like, I've told this story before about our neighbor that was like 100 over here. She's gone now. Her name was Norma. I think she passed away. She was real sweet. Not really. But anyway, some days she was. But one day we got out there, we were talking, and I didn't talk to her a whole lot until, like, right before she moved. But, like, our electricity would go out and stuff, and sometimes, and, like, we would be in bed, like, half asleep, and the electricity would go off. We always know when it goes off because the fan stops, you know, working. It would be in the middle of the night, and we would hear her, and we could hear through the wall. She'd go, Peter, Alex, are you guys there? And I'd be like, yeah, Norma, meet us outside. And we'd come outside, and she'd be in her little pajamas and stuff with a flash. She's so sweet. But anyway, those nights, she was very sweet. Other times, she could be kind of rude. But anyway, like this one time I was on the back patio and I was talking to her, and we got talking about all kinds of stuff. We got talking about how she worked in New York City for these fashion design houses and all that kind of stuff. And we were talking about her living here, and she baked a lot. And this is the short story. I've told the long version of this before. And I kind of didn't believe the story when she was telling me about all these fashion designers. And then when she moved to an assisted living program, her grandma, when they bought this condo, her grandma came over and like it was being shown in the neighborhood, but she had a key to it. And so she was like, do you want to see what it looks like inside? They just, you know, they're getting ready to like remodel it. But before they do you want to see what it looked like? Because I kind of always, you know, all the condos in our neighborhood are different. I said, yeah, sure. So I went in there and she had in her base, I had no clue I was at the end. I was just looking right at it and it stopped. But anyway, so we went in the condo, and in the basement, they have like this full basement down there. And in the base, a clean full basement, mind you. But in the basement, she had dress forms, and she had on the wall like her pictures with like fashion designers and stuff in newspapers. I couldn't believe it. I was like, all right, hey, guess you really were telling the truth. But one day we were sitting out there and I said, oh, you bake? And she said, yeah. And I go, well, what kind of stuff do you bake or whatever? And she's like, I like to make pies and cookies, you know, all this kind of stuff. She makes, mostly made pies, I think is what she said. I don't remember, pies and bread or something. And I said, well, really? And because she didn't know anybody here. She's like, I don't have, like I said, well, because we had this long conversation. I'm not telling this part. And she was like, I don't really know anybody here, and I moved here for friends and whatever. And I said, she didn't have any kids. She'd never been married or whatever. And I said, oh, you like to bake? Who do you bake for your family? And she's like, oh, no, I don't have any family that lives here. And I said, you don't? I go, well, then who do you, like, she's like, I like to bake stuff and just give it to people. And I said something like, well, who do you give it to? And she goes, I like to give it to, like, neighbors that I like and stuff. And she looked at me, I'll never forget this, deadpan, like, and she was not joking. She looked at me and she goes, maybe you'll get one day. I was like, and guess what? Never did I ever. So anyway, boogered again. So, yeah, Judy Smith and her paper folding. But so my ex and I, we were doing these canvas artistic studies of the word sadness, okay? So I said, will you show me yours first? I was really proud of mine because it was very avant-garde. I was really, really proud of it. So he shows me his. I still have it. It's like blue skies, cloud, like pointure, you know? Like, what do you call it when you like do the dot, you know, like Surratt and all that. And it was like, I think this is the one. I can't remember now, but I think this is the one. And it was like the end of this earth, and it was like, I called it something like Peter's perfect ending or something. I don't know what it was. Maybe that was a different painting. And he did one that was like the sky and the ocean and stuff. He was a fantastic painter. You know, I mean, I looked at it, I was like, this took you 45 minutes or something? Like, God, you know? So he said, show me yours. And I go, oh, no, I don't have to show you mine now. Like, well, yours is good. Like, yours is really good. And he goes, just show it to me. I don't even remember how this all went down. It's been so long. I mean, honest to God, it has really been a long time. But like, whatever. My painting said, it had a big eye on it, okay? Like eye. Crying, tears, big gloopy tears going down the side. And then it said, don't cry. Let me just tell you. Okay, so that was probably the year that we got together, and we got together in 2001, I think. So that was 19 years ago. I have no idea which paintings or whatever, but I do remember the Don't Cry. And I kept it for a long time. You know what? I think I might still have that in my office. I think I might have taken it to my office as a joke. I probably just threw it out because I had all this junk I just threw out. But for years, like, through our relationship, whenever we would like if I would get pissed or upset about something, you know, that was like stupid or ridiculous, he'd look at me and he'd go, don't cry. Like, you were such an asshole. Isn't that part of what you do in relationships, though, is you tease each other? I know Alex and I are real good at that. Okay, should we go for a little drive? I'm kind of nervous. This is the first time I have driven in a vlog in 60, count it, 60 days. This is so exciting, isn't it? Do you know, I usually, when I drive and vlog, with this light on. But do you guys like it with the light on or the light off? Because like in the driveway, I've been keeping the light off, but now it's really dark, you know what I mean? But it's kind of more natural lighting, but I have a feeling like when I go into dark areas, you won't be able to see me at all. This is so weird. Somebody in our neighborhood, it's real sweet. Like you can walk through it. We've got like the really like, this is like a residential area. I don't know if you're new to my neighborhood or if you're new to my vlog, you can see like, this is a residential neighborhood that I live in. It's my favorite house right there. I love that house. And so like our, oh, a little bunny. But anyway, so our neighborhood is like in the middle of like a residential neighborhood. And so it's really dark, but I don't know, I almost kind of, there's something about it that I kind of like. The sky is so pretty. But we're in the middle of like a residential neighborhood. Like, so people don't know like that the condo like neighborhood is in there. And so anyway, when we walk through the neighborhood, there's a huge neighborhood to walk through, right? And all this kind of stuff. Alex's friend Sarah, literally, it's like her house is like probably, well, it's a mile and a half down the other way. And so somebody in the neighborhood, I'm assuming it's a kid, you know, like somebody probably like young, you know, elementary or early junior high, went around on the mailboxes and they did these signs, like they wrote it on like, you know, printer paper, and then they covered the signs up with like tape, so it kind of like laminated it. And it's like, so you started at one place, but then it's like you can do it like wherever, so it's not like in any certain order, but it's like stop here and do like 15 jumping jacks, or you know, stop here and do lunges. What was the one thing that Alex and I were like walking along, and we came to this one and it said like take your heartbeat for 30 seconds or something like that, and I was reading it to Alex, and on both sides of the mailbox, so she must have like, she or he must have gotten like the neighborhood to allow to do this. It's really sweet, right? And she calls it something like the neighborhood fitness club or something like that. It's really cute. And for like people that can't go anywhere and can work out, you know, in the neighborhood. So I said to Alex, I said, should we do this while we're walking? This was a couple weeks ago. And he goes, yeah, sure, if you want to. We're literally standing there at the mailbox, and so we're like taking our pulse and whatever, and then he goes, what does it say on the other side? And so I go, and it said something like do 10 planks, and he goes, on the ground? He goes, on the street? He goes, no. He goes, I'm not doing planks on the street. I said, I guess we don't have to do it. Anyway. Oh my. You guys, I have become a soda fanatic. Like, I'm seriously gonna have to stop drinking so much soda. Now, I don't drink it during the day. I mean, like, I know that sounds bad, doesn't it? It sounds like the alcoholic that I am talking about Diet Coke. But I don't drink it, like, until, you know, I've everything done and I've eaten dinner, and then I'll crack one open, typically, you know, and then, like, I'll call Tanya or something, or if I'm doing, like, you know, like, one of my, like, 12-step live streams or something like that, like, I'll do that. But, like, I'm drinking, like, 3 cans of Diet Coke a day. That's a lot. And I don't know if I like the light or not. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below. I think maybe the light. But anyway, it's so weird being out, driving around. There's nobody out on a Friday night at 2:22 a.m. But, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm drinking a lot of Diet Coke. I'm really kind of obsessed with it. Tanya and I were actually talking about it, and I was like, I'm drinking, Tanya, like 3 cans of Diet Coke a day. And she's like, yeah, I know, I'm going through Diet Coke too. And I'm still drinking a lot of water. I'm actually, the one thing I'm not drinking a lot of is coffee. Like, I'll have a cup of coffee when I get up, but other than that, like, I'm not drinking a lot of coffee. Which I thought I would drink more coffee at home. There really haven't been a lot of days that I've made, like, an entire pot of coffee. Now I gotta turn the air on, it's kind of hot in here. I'm afraid to turn it on, because I'm afraid that it's exactly what I was afraid of. The windshield. But, I don't know if I like it better with or without. To drive, honestly, I like it better without. But I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a huge semi behind me, which is kind of weird. I hope it's not part of a convoy. There's a huge semi behind me, which is kind of weird because we're not like in an area where there would be a semi, and I can't believe that my battery is like halfway done, and I have a feeling it's just gonna like die. I'm gonna look up and it's gonna be dying, and then I'm gonna have to pull in somewhere to change it. I do want to go up here to Ulta, and I want to see what the sign at Ulta says. Melissa was very sad because so Alex was supposed to be starting Electric Daisy Carnival today, which I've been reading some articles, and they're saying they don't even think Coachella will happen this fall. I don't think a whole lot is going to happen this fall. I don't know, I think kind of like, it's been easier for me the more I just kind of accept it, you know, as it is. But, you know, it's kind of easy for me, too. Like, Alex and I were talking about this tonight. He's like, you know what, babe? He was like, you don't go anywhere. Like, he was like, you work from home. You stay at home all day long. He was like, you might go get a coffee or run to the post office. You know, you might go to, like, Walmart or Meijer, which I don't need to do that, you know? He said, but, like, other than that, he said, it's not like, there's not like anything that you're like, see, I think it's bad without the light. What do you guys think? I can't tell. He was like, you're completely fine living this way. And you know, like in all reality, until stuff started opening up, I didn't really realize how much other than traveling, how much my life is pretty typical to how it always has been. But that being said, like, as much as I love to travel, which I really, really do, I also love to stay at home, you know? I do want to venture out. There's a farmer's market right, I'll drive by there too, that has plants and stuff. I want to buy some plants. I think it's warm enough now that we can buy the plants, and I want to buy them for the patio, and then I need to get a power washer. I was going to order them on Amazon, but if I can go up, I wonder if they would just have it at like CVS or Walgreens or somewhere where I could just run in real quick and get it in the cleaner. There's this like Ace Hardware by us. I bet they would have one that has like, it's always dead. Like, I don't want to go in places when they're busy, you know what I mean? Like that kind of, I don't know, I'm still not ready for all that. See, okay, now my windows are fogging up. I didn't come all the way in here today, but when I drove by the strip mall, I could see that nobody was here. Curbside pickup. It doesn't say anything about reopening. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Game preserve. I wonder if they say anything. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing, you guys, but I'm smelling my aunt and uncle's house right now. Like, every house they lived in had a very distinct smell of this potpourri that my aunt used. And I'm like really getting a strong whiff of it right now. It's like really, really weird. Like, I'm really smelling it. Ulta, Indianapolis, reopening. Where am I at on battery time? Okay. A trickle of shoppers return to malls in Noblesville, Greenwood, and Plainfield. See, those are areas that are in Indianapolis. Venturing out as most parts of Indiana began to this is on May 5th. Marion County, where stay-at-home orders won't be lifted until mid-May. To check out the scene at Hamilton Town Center. I felt like I saw it flashing. Okay. Resident to use Lysol to spray chairs to be purchased at Value City Furniture. Okay. I think I'm just going to keep on ordering online for a while. I don't know. It depends. Like, I guess if I pulled up to a store and it looked like there weren't a lot of people there, I might go in. But I don't know how comfortable I feel going in if it's, I mean, I won't go in if it's really super busy. You know, when I went into the Meijer that day, even though that was like a month and a half ago or whenever it was 6 weeks ago or something, when I went in there, like, I freaked. Like, I did not like it. See, May 11th in every other county, except for us, where every other of my friends live and where we do everything, restaurants and bars that serve food can open at 50% capacity. Personal services such as hair salons, barbershops, nail salons, spas, and tattoo shops can reopen by appointment only. But they said on here too that bars, nightclubs, bowling alleys, museums, and amusement parks and water parks can reopen with restrictions in stage 4, which is targeted for June 14th. But we have a friend of ours that's in the bar business and said that they're thinking that's going to get pushed back. So who knows? Do you know what? Let me just tell you something. I ordered these masks and they were literally here like in less than a week. I ordered these, 5 of these that are like washable. And then I ordered 50 disposable ones, okay? That, you know, like the medical, they look like the medical grade ones. Got those in like a week. Do you know those big ones, like the ones that are like rubber that I ordered and whatever, that said give me 12 to 15 days and then 12 more days or whatever? Do you know I still have not received those? And I sent them an email and I said, I think I did it in a vlog, and I said I want a full refund on this, and I want you emailing me the refund information within 24 hours. Do you know I sent that email to them like a week ago and they have still not responded? It's like 3 days to a week ago or something like that. I mean, it's been long enough that they should have responded to it. How they responded to the other one in 24 hours and I said, where's my item that said it's been shipped, 15 days ago or whatever. They responded the next day. I got no response from this email. I was like, this is BS. I'm just gonna call and have the charge. I'm gonna see if I can get the, do you guys get charges canceled? I've never done that before. And I'm, listen, I'm all for giving people more time and whatever, but like, they sent me an order with a tracking number. Like there's a tracking number listed with it. And then when you go into this app to track it, I wondered if gas stations were gonna open up again. That one's open. I think a lot of gas stations are only open until 10 p.m. But there's a tracking number with it, okay? So then it has this thing to track it with, and you go, and then it's this app that you have to download this app. So I downloaded this app, and then when I download this app, it like doesn't pull it up. It's like crazy. It's like this whole thing is a mess. So then it says you have to go in and put your order, whatever. So I did all that, and then it's like, this item cannot be tracked, or something like that. And I'm like, they just said it was sent out. Now my battery's dying. I was like, they just said it was sent out, but it hasn't been sent out. Because they said it was gonna take 12, this is what I don't understand. Why would you send a confirmation email out saying that the item had been shipped? It's like, your item has been shipped. It's like that email, okay? Why are you gonna send, and I understand if you sent me an email that said, hey, we're really behind on orders because of COVID, it's gonna take, another 30 days. Like, as upset as I would be over having to wait another 30 days, it's not like we're fine, we have masks, I would understand it, but at least thank you for keeping me informed of what's going on. But to send out with a tracking number, a confirmation that it has been shipped, to find out it hasn't been shipped, I'm like, what? Like, what is this email then? Why did you send me an email? I'm gonna pull in here to change my battery. I'm like, then why did you send me this confirmation email, which is basically a pointless confirmation email? It means nothing. Because you didn't really send it, did you? So it's lies straight from the pit of hell. Here's such crap. It is kind of nice to be out a little bit, I will say that. Okay, give me just a second. Okay, I'm back. I literally just took a picture of myself, which, if you'd like to see, I will include somewhere in here, if I remember. I was reaching to start it. This is what happens when I turn it off and by accident, anyway. Okay. It is really nice being out, though. It's kind of like a nice summer night. It's only 59 degrees, but it's nice outside. Anyway, I guess I'm done complaining about those masks, but... And then I kind of wonder, to be honest with you, like, I saw it on Instagram. That's where I saw it to order it. And do you guys see stuff all the time to order on Instagram? Like, there's these water bottles that I want to order, and they're very cool. And one of them is clear and looks like a milk carton. And they have different ones that are really cool. But anyway, I see all these ads come up on Instagram, of stuff. Do you guys know I'm talking about, like, the sponsored posts, and you see, like, the ads that come up, like, if you're watching people's stories, like, it'll come up in between the stories and stuff? Why is it so anyway, like, if I like it, I'll, like, swipe up, and then I'll look at it, and then miraculously, the same thing will come up on my Facebook, because, like, that got all that trickery going on now. If you look at something one side, it'll pull it up on the other side. So anyway, but I think all of those ads are I'm starting to think they're all a scam. I'm thinking, have people have any of you actually ordered from those sites and received your goods? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, or are they all just scam sites? Because there's cool stuff that I want to order that's, like, not super expensive, but I'm like, I don't want to order stuff from it if, like, the stuff's gonna never come. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying good money. And I looked, and I bought 5 masks, because they're like these heavy-duty masks, And I bought 5 masks for, it was expensive. It was like $40 or $49 with shipping and handling. And I'm like, I'm not gonna just write that off, you know? And so anyway, I'm not happy about it. But I also don't know what else to do about it. I mean, like, I've emailed, how many times am I gonna email, you know? It's really weird being out right now, you guys. Like, vlogging and driving, it feels really bizarre. It feels like when you go on vacation and you go for like a long vacation and you come back and you haven't driven for a long time and you get in your car and you drive again. You know, like how it feels kind of uncomfortable? That's how it feels. It's really nice out though. I missed driving around late at night. It's peaceful. Relaxes me. Maybe I'll sleep better tonight because of that, you know? But I like sitting in my driveway too. I really do enjoy that. I'm finally out. Can you believe it? I'm finally out. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Got to let it know. Show. Do you guys know that song by Diana Ross? Something smells really good. It smells like they're cooking something. Now this Starbucks right here, I think, is the one, because Josh was telling me, like, when I texted him that their Starbucks was closed. So I think my Starbucks just opened recently. I mean, there's a lot. There's literally a Starbucks, in a 5-mile radius, there's probably 6 Starbucks, but this one is the other one that's close to me. And he said, I think he was like, this one is the one that's been, like, open all along. I don't know. I didn't really miss getting my Starbucks, but it was kind of fun to just drive through there. I was more excited about that than anything, you know what I mean? It's really weird. This hotel is packed. I didn't know people were, like, staying at hotels and stuff a lot. Oh, this hotel is really packed. That one back there is dead, but that's more of like a motel. We're gonna come up on some hotels over here. And I'll see how busy they are. I do miss staying in hotels. Talking to Melissa earlier, because she's so anyway, I was saying this earlier, I think. Tonight was supposed to be the first night of EDC, Electronic Daisy Carnival, that Alex was going to. So the trip, like, I had decided that I wasn't going to go to any of EDC, and I feel like there's like something flashing across me here as I'm like looking at the camera, but anyway, I had decided that I wasn't going to go to any of the days of EDC, and Alex was going to go with Fufu. And his cousin Maya, she lives out there. And Fufu's girlfriend was gonna possibly come, but not go to EDC. And so she and I were gonna like go to the pool and lay out and then go out to dinner with like Melissa and Jason in the evenings and stuff. And Melissa and Jason had tickets to go see Lady Gaga, I think Wednesday and Thursday, or maybe it was just one time. Last time they went to 2 shows. They saw the piano show and they saw the pop show. But this time I think they were only going to 1 show. I can't remember which one it was. And Melissa's like a die-hard Lady Gaga fan, and I mean, I love Lady Gaga too, but so anyway, she was really upset. But I said to Melissa, I said, like, she's like, I just can't believe that we're not, I'm really upset about it. And I'm like, I know, sweetie, like, I feel bad for your birthday and stuff. She's like, it's not just that. She's like, we just haven't been anywhere. Like, they haven't been anywhere since last fall or whatever. And they went like to their families for Christmas, but like they literally drive 23rd, 24th, and come home on the 25th. Like they drive for like 2 days between like 3 states, you know? And she was so pumped about seeing this Lady Gaga show. I mean, it's all she talked about for like 2 months. She's more excited about Lady Gaga than going to Ultra. And but we were talking about like how much money we've saved just in the last 2 months, 3 months by not going to these last 2 trips, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to lay by the pool and, you know, play some slot machines and get a good dinner and whatever, but I'm not upset about the money that I've saved. I'm really not. Home Depot can't be open this late. I wouldn't have. Oh, I didn't go by the farmer's market. Well, I'll turn around up here and then we'll go through the farmer's market. Now, Tanya had told me that these hotels up here, there's like one on either side, were dead. Because we were talking about like hotels, and she's like, well, those hotels, you know, over by, you know, whatever. This is where, so one side of the street is Indianapolis, and the other side of the street is Fishers or Carmel down there or wherever, right? So, like literally on the side that I'm at right now, like everything's closed. Okay, like for another, you know, I mean, well, we just came out of it today, but like you can't go to restaurants. You can't, so like on this side of the restaurant, Bob Evans, you can't eat over here. Burger King can't eat in the restaurant. 50%, I don't know who wants to be going into restaurants right now anyway. But over here at Taco Bell, right across, you can walk right across the street, you can go eat inside. That's crazy, isn't it? It's a restaurant right here called Wolfie's that we go to after meetings some nights. Love that restaurant. It's fun. It's just like a little bar pub. It says Spring Hill Suites. Oh my lord. It's not packed, but there's quite a few people here. I can't see the hotel on the other side. There's this food truck right here. I want to buy this so bad. So it says El Venezolano on it or something like that. And it was a Venezuelan food truck. And I don't know if they closed their business or what they did. This is like a car lot right here, used car lot. And so that food truck would go all over the place. And they supposedly had like amazing like empanadas and arepas and stuff like that. And I always wanted to go there and get them because they would like say, like, I followed their Twitter for a long time. And they would say like, okay, on Friday we're gonna be here. And on Wednesday we're gonna be here. This is like a long time ago. But they must have gone out of business because, God, it was like January or February. I saw the truck over there and I was like, how long have they been out of business for? That kind of made me sad. I thought it was kind of cool that we had like a Venezuelan food truck here. Maybe they just got a new food truck. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they're still in business, but I don't think so. Do you guys hear that? Listen. Now you can't hear it. You're not making the same sounds. Look at that. By the way, that road right there is where I did the Cheesecake Factory. If you ever watched my review of the Cheesecake Factory, that was where I did it, right on the side of that little road down there. On my review channel, I did a review. It was like pumpkin and pecan pie. It was 2 different kinds, and like I compared them. Is the camera out of focus? Okay, there it is back. I love the sounds. Everybody was giving me recommendations of like stuff to listen to. Okay, so part of the problem is, like, somebody gave me a great recommendation as far as like putting on like the Bluetooth or the whatever, you know, not the Bluetooth, but the like the Alexa thing, the whatever it's called, because we have all those things. But like Alex doesn't want to listen to that when he's sleeping. So, like, we wouldn't have it on in the background, right? The YouTube stuff I would listen to, but then, like, when it's done, it'll just go into the next video, right? So, like, I mean, I'm sure there's a way to stop it so it doesn't. So I don't know, but I did get on Audible last night. This is weird. I got on Audible last night, and I was looking at the bestsellers, and there was like 4 things that was like the bestsellers, and like one of them was like 3.5 hours long or 2 hours long, and it was just like somebody had gone into the forests in Washington State and just recorded like a thunderstorm in the forest, like some national forest in Washington State. And that was one of them. The other one was winter in some place. And I was like, these are really cool. And they were free downloads. So if you have Audible, you can go in there. I can tell you, I don't know who they're by or what. They didn't get very good ratings, but like only 3 people had rated them. But they were free. They're free downloads on Audible right now. So I downloaded a couple of them. I've always had a hard time falling asleep. Like, that's not anything new. Like, I've always had I've always had a hard time, like, getting my mind to just kind of rest and go to sleep. And actually, the vlog really helps with that sometimes, you know? But, like, recently, even more so. And I thought it was because of me taking the naps, you know, that then I was just like up late or drinking caffeine or whatever. But I've always been able to drink I've literally been able to drink a cup of coffee, like caffeinated coffee, and like even like back in the day when we would, maybe it's like because I'm getting older, who knows, you know. But back in the day, I would be able to, like, you know, get up and you know, like, we would go out to a meeting, and I would have, like, a cup of coffee at the meeting, and then afterwards, we would, like, go eat, and I would have, like, you know, 2 cups of coffee at dinner, and then, like, you know, like, we would go to Tanya's or something afterwards, and we would all sit around, like, the fire, and I'd have, like, a fountain pop, like, a big one, like a 32 ounce, or I would drink, like, you know, I'd get a coffee from the gas station, and we'd sit out, you know, outside of Tanya's house and whatever, and I'd stay up late. So it's like I drank a lot of caffeine at night, and I'd fall asleep like that, right? Like, I never, back in the day, I wouldn't fall asleep like that, but, like, I'd fall asleep, like, I'd lay there for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and kind of, like, my head would spin, but then it wouldn't take me, I mean, now, I mean, it is taking me, like, an hour and a half to fall asleep. It's ridiculous. And there's been periods in my life that it's been like this, but right now, it's, like, really bad. And it's not like it's not like things are in my head bothering me or anything like that. It's just, like, I mean, I literally lay there, and I, like, turn over, and I talk to Boo, and then I turn the other way, and I don't get on my phone, you know, unless I was, like, the other night I did, because I was looking at those apps, because I was like, I gotta have something to help me fall asleep. But it's never been like this before, this bad, where I've been having a hard time falling asleep. It's almost getting to the point where it's kind of like insomnia, except for the fact that when I finally do fall asleep, and that could be sometimes like when I fall dead asleep, like that could be anywhere from like 8 to 10 in the morning. Like, it's taking me that long at this point, right? But when I do fall asleep, like, I am out. Like, completely out. By the way, when we did our curbside, this is totally opposite, but I was really impressed with this. When we went to do our curbside pickup of Cheesecake Factory tonight, so you pull into a spot, and they have signs, and they're like welded signs. They're not like paper signs. They're like welded signs now, and each one of them has a number on it, and you pull into a spot, and people were spaced apart. Like, there wasn't like 2 people next to each other. You make the order online, or you call it in. Alex ordered it online from his phone, and then you pull into a parking spot, and then they text you. Like, the sign says, pull into a parking spot, do not leave your vehicle, or it says stay inside your vehicle, do not leave your vehicle, and then it says, when your order is ready, we will text you. Text back with your make and model of your car and the number that you're at. And so, like, you know, when our order was ready, we just, you know, texted that. And I was really, really impressed with that whole, like, setup. I just was, like, super impressed with all of that. That's just a side note. I mean, I'm sure nobody cares, but I was impressed with it. I started to tell this personal story, and then I thought, you know what? Like, I think maybe I'm not going to tell that story about Tanya and I. It was another Tanya and Peter story. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Do you know, like, some stories that are, like, funny to you and, like, funny to, like, a good friend of yours, like, other people probably wouldn't think are funny? Do you know what I mean? Anyway. It's really nice out. It's weird. Well, today I turned on the air conditioning. It was, like, hot in the house. I was like, God, it's kind of hot in here. What's going on? And I went down and I looked at the temperature in the house, and it was 74 degrees. So I turned the air on. I just turned it on to 70. So keep it at the same temperature that it's been. My hair is so long in the back, you guys. I mean, no lie, that I could probably pull a little, I mean, like, it would be like this big, but a little ponytail back here. Anyway, what was I gonna say? It wasn't about the temperature. Something else in my head to tell. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. You know, it's so weird that it's like, right now, it is, what, May 15th? We're halfway through May. I mean, I can't believe we're, like, on our way to June already, you know? And before we know it, it's gonna be... It'll be August, and I'll be like, you know, schools are starting again. They're already talking about here, like, what they're going to do with schools. And I was talking to Tanya about it, and I said, well, what are they going to do with schools? She's like, they don't really know. They're starting to talk about it now, that they're going to have, like, maybe some kids go. I've seen so many rabbits tonight. She said they're talking about how maybe they'll have some kids. I've always thought that rabbits were good luck. Do you know that? Somebody told me that years ago, and it stuck with me. But anyway, I hope that means money is coming my way. But anyway, she said, what is that bumper? What does that billboard say? Mulch, bro? Do you even mulch, bro? We need mulch for our walkway. Alex picked everything out, and he just, like, left it, like, dirt. And I said, that's gonna, when that rains and pours, like, it's just gonna be mud. And he was like, it'll be completely fine. And I go, well, don't you think we should get some mulch? And he goes, I like it better without mulch. I said, okay. It's gonna be muddy. Muddy, muddy. Well, Boo and Tucker like to walk in it, too. So, I don't want it to be too messy. What was I gonna say? Oh, but I was talking to Tanya, and Tanya said, I love the sound of semis on the interstate. Not, like, right up on my tail, but, like, I like them when, like that, like when I'm on another road. There's something about a semi. I love the sounds of driving at night. I just love, like the sound of a turn signal late at night. Putting your arm out. You're flying, letting the wind, just, you know, I love that. The hum of the semi on the interstate. But Tanya said that schools are talking about, like, doing part and part, like having kids go some days and not others and whatever, you know? It's, like, gonna be weird. It's like, you know... It's, like, weird to think about how this affects things that, like we wouldn't even normally think about, right? So, like, I have a friend of mine that works for a probation department, and I was talking to her, and she was saying, like, you know, like, she said something about house arrest. And I said, or not house arrest, work release. And so if you don't know what work release is when you like stay in a facility, but you're on a less monitored, like less supervised. You're still incarcerated, but it's like less supervised, right? It's more like a halfway house or a 3/4 house. And you can leave to go to work. And a lot of times people on work release can like leave to go to work, and they can leave to go to meetings, you know, and things like that. But then they have to come back. Like, they can leave, but they have to be back there to check in by like 10 o'clock at night, typically, right? But since in like Hamilton County, which is where like a lot of my meetings are, like they use work release a lot because it's a big part of drug court up there. But there's no place for people to work right now because everything has been closed, right? And the probation officers, like, people aren't even going into work and stuff. And she said something to me about, like, so a lot of these people are like, and I said, oh, like, are they having, like, are their sentences being modified? And she said, yeah. She was like, a lot of them are being put on house arrest, like, if they're, you know, if they're, like, met their requirements to some degree. But she said, you know, like, if you've like completed your work release, like 50 to 60%, they're letting, or more, they're letting a lot of those people go on, you know, house arrest. But like for a lot of people, like that are like had just started it or whatever, like they have to go out and do their term, like their days, like they can't be on house arrest, and yeah, so they have to be, you know, like the way that their sentences that reads that if you can't complete work release for any reason, then you have to just do your time, right? And I was like, that is gonna be, like, I hadn't even thought about that, right? Like work release. And I said to her, I go, how are your probationers going to meetings? Like, cause you know, like when you're on probation for like drug and alcohol things, like in drug court, like one of the things they do is you'll go to meetings. Like if you've ever been part of a 12-step program, like people will bring sheets and like the chairperson signs the sheets to prove that they were at a meeting. And I said, how are people getting their meeting sheets signed? And she said, they're making them take a picture of their Zoom sign-in to show that they're signing into meetings, which literally, you could go in and get your meeting sheet signed and leave, or you could sign it yourself anyway. So it's not like it's any much different. But I was like, but that's kind of a breach of anonymity, isn't it? To have somebody like, to have your picture up there signed into an anonymous meeting. And she was like, yeah, but they're like, you just see their name and the name of the meeting with it. And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, there's no other way for us to get around it. And she's like, we have seen a lot of relapses since all of this has happened. And I said, yeah, I'm hearing about, you know, I've heard some horrible things. It's just really sad, you know, and when it comes to addiction stuff, but like, you know, it's interesting because just as much as I talk about how difficult it would be and how hard it would be to be in early sobriety going through this, and I can't imagine being in early sobriety and whatever, you know, I've talked to other people that are in early sobriety that like have said to me, this is a godsend, okay, for me to, is it still recording? That they have said, like, this is a godsend that I'm at home and like I have very little access, and they're like, I can just sit on my computer. I couldn't go to work anyway, so I don't have to work, and you know, like, so I can't, like, I could go to the liquor store if I really wanted to. I mean, if you're gonna drink and you're gonna drug, you're gonna drink and you're gonna drug, right? If you want to bad enough, you're going to. But they're like, to some degree, I can sit at home all day long. I can just have a meeting on 24 hours a day on my computer and participate if I want to. And I can just sit there and listen to it, or I can do whatever, you know? And I've had a couple people say that to me too. I've heard both sides. So, you know, as far as that, Chuck E. Cheese has all of these signs all over it that say $5. Pizza for $5 or what? Anyway, as far as that goes, I want to go by this flower marketplace and see what's up with that. I want to see how pretty their flowers are, but they probably have them all covered. I saw it earlier. I just didn't want to go in any place earlier. But it's not even in, it's outside. So this tent you pay in, but everything is outside that you pick up, just put in the back of your car. I think that's actually where I got my plants last year, maybe. But anyway, you know, maybe all of this really doesn't have any effect on whether you're sober or not. Have you guys seen the ad? I think it's on, I don't know if it's on YouTube, and it kept on coming up on YouTube when I was watching Instant Influencer, or if it came up on something else that I was watching. But it's like this woman, and she's like 100, and it shows pictures of her like going through every area of her life, and she says something in it like, mothers have been through a lot worse, or something like this. Have you guys seen this? This car is like literally like coming up on my tail. Maybe that's because I'm going a little slow. But I love that commercial, and she's like, mothers have been through a lot worse, or mothers can get through anything, or something like that. It's a really cool ad. And then at the end it just shows her face. You know, I'm definitely not somebody that believes in willpower as far as addiction. And this comment that I'm about to say, I've always believed since I've been sober. I believed it after a while from being sober, and I still believe it today. And whenever I say it, somebody out there takes it out of context. But I do not believe as an addict and an alcoholic, once I pick up, I have a lot of willpower. But I do believe that before I pick up, I have a lot of willpower, you know? And as an addict and an alcoholic, if I wanted to use, if I wanted to get something to use, if I wanted to drink, if I wanted drugs or whatever, I would have gone to any lengths to do that. Like, I literally would have, I would have done anything, right? Now, that's some pretty powerful willpower. To then say we are people that don't have any kind of willpower. This camera is starting to slide a little bit. I'm not used to the sliding camera because I haven't been in the car driving. But you know, when people say to us, the car is like all over the place. He's like shooting up and then slowing back down, and like shooting up and slowing back down. And I'm going the speed limit now, so. But anyway, you know, when we were out there using, we are people that have a lot of willpower. If I wanted to get something and I was going to do something, I would have done whatever I had to do to get it. But then we get sober and we say we don't have any willpower. No, I don't believe that. I believe we do have a lot of willpower. I don't believe that we have any willpower once we put the drink in us, or once we put the drug in us. I think that once, listen, I am done with these shenanigans. You need to get off my tail. He's like so, look at this. I'm on a one-lane road right now, you guys. He had someplace to go, apparently. But anyway, it's scary. But I am somebody that believes that once the drink in me, you know, like this saying that one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. Meaning that once that drink is inside of me, once that drug is inside of me, I'm not going to stop. I'm not ever, because I don't know how to stop. And that's not what I want anyway. I don't want a drink. There's like a pickup truck here. Does it live here or something? These flowers don't even look... I'm not buying none of these flowers. They don't even look pretty. They don't even look opened yet. Everybody's going crazy wanting to buy flowers just like me, and they don't even look open or pretty yet. What's that about? Do these look pretty over here? They're okay. Oh, those are prettier. Very pretty. Those are pretty right there. I wonder how much they are. What are these big bales of hay for? They got pretty ferns. I might get a fern. I budget at a certain amount of money. So you guys know I'm weird about the financial budget, right? So I budget out a certain amount of money to spend every week. Oh, there's another book deposit place. You can donate books. I need to remember that. But, you know, I budget out a certain amount of money every, like, going into the month. Like, I figure out, like, what I need for everything, and then I budget out, like, okay, I can have this much a week, you know, for cash to spend on groceries and food and going out to eat and all this kind of stuff. And what I am budgeting for and what I'm, like, literally spending, I mean, no lie at this point. Now, you have to remember, okay, this money that I'm budgeting for is like everything, okay? It's like, and I'm not budgeting for the same amount of money that I was budgeting, you know, like 3 months ago. But it's like going out to eat, fountain pops with Tanya, you know, whatever treats I get at the gas station or the grocery store or whatever, okay? Grocery shopping, coffee, you know, at Starbucks, casino money, but any like living expenses and gas for my car, all that kind of stuff, right? Can I just tell you that right now, I'm literally spending between $30 and $60 a week. Not even 60. There's no way I'm even spending anywhere near 60 because I'm filling my gas tank like every other week at this point. So I bet it's $30 to $40 a week I'm spending. Now, some of my Amazon purchases and stuff like that, I'm not like counting with all of that because those are like other things that I have like money set aside. Oh, but I also set money aside every month for things that I want to buy. I won't spend any of that. I bought a pair of shoes from Sperry that were on sale for like $70 or $60. That was the last kind of like thing I bought. I've like really saved some money through this. And I was like looking at my checking account. I was like we're halfway through the month and I have spent like $60 out of my it's crazy. It's like, I can't believe I'm like saving that kind of money. Where's another flower place? I think there's one in Broad Ripple. I'm gonna go this way and see. I don't really want to go in somewhere. What I want to, you know what I want is, I want like a thing like this. Like Tanya and I used to buy these plants. This like one outside place in Fishers. And it was like, you know, a bucket like this big. And it'd just be all different colors and kinds of flowers in it. And I remember they were $23. They were always $23. Like anything there was like $23. You went like big hanging plant, $23. It was like, well, so anyway, that was the one, if I showed you the picture not too long ago of the plants that I got and they were like on the thing. And then I also have a picture of Pipi with it. They're gorgeous, so color. And you know, the whole summer they lasted the entire summer. And I had like two, I had two on either side. Like when you walked in, I had like two and then like two underneath. And I would like to get more of that, but I'd like to get a ton of them. I'd like to have like 6 on the front porch and like 10 on the back porch with plants and all kinds of stuff and just water it and keep it like really like green and colorful out there with, you know, just a really like nesting place. Somebody said in there that like, they're like, oh, you defined what I'm doing right now. I'm like nesting. That is what I want to do. Like I want to have like this patio when I walk outside. There's just like plants everywhere and flowers and it's just gorgeous, you know. I do want to get a couple like big trees or plants, not trees, but plants, you know, that like in the fall we can bring inside and keep inside, but in the summer we can keep outside. Does anybody know what that would be? Does anybody have any idea what that would be? But my mom used to do that with ferns. My mom kept ferns inside all year round. My mom had beautiful ferns on our patio, like not our patio, but our porch that we had that was like inside, you know, an inside room. Even in the dead of winter, she kept ferns. She had one that she just had it right down the carpet. But yeah, you know, like I'm talking about, this is new. The Ripple. Used to be a vape shop. Oh, this used to be my flower place. What happened to it? Well, it's dead now. There's nothing going on there. But, There's where my mom went to high school, Broad Ripple High School. Which I thought they were tearing down. They still haven't torn it down now. Yeah, I mean, I think this, like we always say, you know, like, oh, addicts and alcoholics have no willpower. No, I don't buy that. I just don't. I'm speaking, you know, from personal experience. I'm not anything else. I'm just saying, you know, yes, once, I have a lot of willpower, but, like, until I put, there's a lot I can do. Like, you know, like, I can remember saying it's so hard. Like, it is hard. It is, absolutely. Sobriety is hard. But, you know, if you do the things that you're taught to do, and you use your tools and your skills, and you pick up the phone and you call people, and you go to a meeting, and you get a sponsor, and you know, do all that, and get a counselor. If you don't want to do a 12-step program, you know, get involved in some spiritual program with church or temple or whatever you want to do, or I don't know, some kind of counseling or some program out there that you find that works for you, you know, do what works for you, but you got to replace it with something, right? But if you're doing that, you know, I believe in a 12-step program because that's what works for me, but other people do other things, and that's for them, and I don't criticize that. You know, you got to do what works for you. But this idea that we don't have any willpower, but then we have, like, I think we're some of the most willful people in the world when it comes to, before we stop using, getting what we want, you know? But then, oh God, I just saw a flower market up here. Okay, this looks big. But then when we, how do you get in there to see them? They got all kinds of stuff. I don't think you can get in there to see it. But then when we, hold on a second. It's outside. They have some gorgeous hanging plants. I bet those are expensive though. But you know, like then we want to use it as an excuse. I did, even when I was in early sobriety, and I would say, well, I don't have any willpower, you know, like I have no willpower. But I only don't have willpower once I put the drink and the drug in me. And I really do think, like, this is why it's pointless to talk to drunks. When people are drunk, it's pointless to talk to them about quitting drinking, or, you know, when somebody's actively using, when they're in the active state of use, it's pointless to talk to them about stopping. And why don't you love me? If you loved me enough, you'd stop. And everybody said all that kind of stuff to me, you know? And I just don't. I don't, honestly, like, you know, when drunks call me 3 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, I'll be like, I'll talk to them for a couple minutes. I give them about a good 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm talking about people that I know, like, you know, when they're trying to stay sober and stuff, and they get drunk, they'll call me up, and, you know, I'll make sure they're okay. If they're okay, and I'm like, are you okay? Oh, yeah, like, I'm just sitting here watching this movie. If that's the situation. Now, if it's dire, I'll stay on the phone with them, and while I'm on the phone with them, I'm texting, like, you know, one of my good friends in recovery, like, okay, maybe we might need to go show up and talk to somebody, you know what I mean? Like, I take that stuff very seriously. But if it's somebody that's just like, okay, and then like, but they've been drinking, like if they had a little bit of sobriety and they went back out there, you know, and they're like, I just don't know that. I think I can do this. This is maybe not for me. You know, I'm like, okay. And they're like, I don't know. Have you seen this movie? This movie is so good. I'm like, you know what? Like, why don't you call me in the morning? And like, I'll give them a good 10 or 15 minutes. And I'll say, why don't you call me in the morning and we can talk more about it? Okay. I'm sorry about bothering you so late. I'm like, it's not, you know, you're not bothering me. You're not bothering me at all. I'm glad that you reached out to me, you know? Okay, you sure? I'm like, yeah, hell, people took the call for me, you know? But anyway, but there's no point to try to like justify with a person that's been drinking. Like, there just isn't. And if you've ever done it, you know, you're nodding your head. You're like, yep, there's no point in just trying to have a rational conversation with somebody that is drunk. There just isn't, right? So the best thing that you can do is wait till the next morning. Now, if I don't hear from them, I will call them and I will say, are you okay? And typically what they'll say is, did I call you last night? And I'll say, yeah, you did. You had me a little worried, you know? Or, you know, I mean, I don't have a lot of people today in my life that I don't know from recovery that would give me that phone call, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have a lot of friends in my life that drink or use to that level that would just call me up in the middle of the night drunk. I just, like, they would know that, like, I'm probably, like, I don't have that call, and I don't have people that use to that level typically, so I haven't experienced that in a while. I'm like in my head right now, like, who would that be? Like, I don't even know who that would be, you know? Like, I have friends, I mean, a lot of my friends drink, my husband drinks, but, yeah, I can't think of anybody that I would, like, have, like, that kind of conversation with. I have gotten a lot of calls, you know, where I have to call my sponsor and say, like, I'm very worried, this person calls me, I'm on the phone with them right now, and, you know, there's things, like, there's protocol that we follow, and 12-step program for that, and whatever, and, I take those situations very seriously, but that is completely different, and that doesn't happen to me very often. That used to happen to me quite a bit, you know, when I was in, you know, like, earlier sobriety, not early sobriety, but earlier sobriety, but that doesn't really happen to me as much anymore. But, you know, as long as I mean, like, I believe this. As long as I don't pick up a drink or a drug, I have a chance for today. And, but once that drink or drug is in me, like, I'm gone. Like, I don't have a chance. You know, this vlog went so much longer than I thought it was going to go tonight. Like, I just don't. Like, I don't, you know, as long as, if I pick up, I'm screwed. Like, there was a comment that, like, 3 or 4 people commented about, and I wanted to talk about this comment. A couple people were like, you said this and I felt that. Like, what was the comment? Y'all know I love reading the comments. I'm not going to sit here and read the comments tonight, but my video about the James Charles Instant Influencer is doing so poorly. Let me just tell you, obviously, nobody cares about that show. I thought it was really good. Well, nobody on my channel. I thought it was really good. I mean, it wasn't really good. It wasn't, like, award-winning, but it was interesting. Is my door locked? Okay. Let's see. Sullen Girl X said, I always, because last night, if you missed this, the very end of the vlog, I said, if for those of you that stayed till the very, very end, and a couple people commented, and Sullen Girl X said, I always stay till the very last second, as you should, and never fall asleep. I need that love you sometimes. By the way, I have been ordering my dog's food off Chewy.com. They have good prices and deliver fast. If that doesn't work, PetSmart is doing online order same day curbside pickup. Oh, okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, Kathy said it, but it was, somebody quoted me, so I want to see it how it's quoted. Kathy said, I started taking pride in being a human being, very powerful, Peter, to love you. That was the quote. Oh, an Echo Dot. Crafty Sutton, she's the one that said an Echo Dot. So we have an Echo Dot too. Alex, I don't even know how to use it, if you want to know the truth. But, like, he could teach me how to do it. But, Marsha said Atlanta is the hip-hop capital. It's LA in the South. I liked Atlanta. I thought it was a fun city. But it was very glitzy. Okay, here's Taryn said it. Although she said tracking instead of taking, but I knew what she meant. She said, I started taking pride in just being a human being. So, do you know, like, when you say stuff, like, and you don't even realize, like, what you're saying at the time, like, that it means anything or that other people, like, it resonates with them? But, like, I'm really glad that that resonated with some people, because it really made, like, when I read that comment, and there were, like, probably 5 or 6 people at least that I saw on there that mentioned that comment alone, which is so funny when you think about, like, okay, so my vlog last night was like an hour and 20 some minutes, or an hour and 20 minutes, and this one sentence that I said, that I started taking, you know, pride in being a human being, like, and I think that that was when I was talking about being sober again, you know, like, I didn't care. I think, like, that's the one thing, like, I didn't get sober to be a good person, okay? Like, this is important, because I think there's this misconception in the world, right? That you have to hit your bottom, and you have to really have this great desire to want to get clean and sober, okay? Well, to really have this great desire to get clean, I just looked up to say it was going to stop in a second, and it stopped. But anyway, I don't believe that you have to have a desire to stay clean and sober. I've seen people that have no desire and are angry to stay clean and sober, okay? I don't know what the level and the quality of their sobriety is, but that doesn't mean that they're not sober or dry, at least. You know, they're not using. Which we want to criticize being dry. Like, to me, honestly, like, I have no desire to be dry. Like, and dry just means you're not using, but you're not changing anything about your life. You know, for the 4 years that I didn't go to meetings and I had no emotional sobriety, this has gone on really long tonight. But anyway, for the 4 years that I, didn't go to meetings and I didn't have any emotional sobriety and I had no spiritual foundation, I was the angriest and the saddest I think I've ever been, probably, because I wasn't drinking, but I didn't have anything fixing all that stuff either, you know what I mean? And I just was miserable. Now, that being said, so I was dry during that time, okay? I don't consider myself that I was, like, working any sobriety program or whatever. I consider myself at that time being a sober person with no emotional sobriety, okay? I still very much considered myself a member of a 12-step program, and I had a sponsor, but I talked to him, but very rarely, once a month maybe when he would call. And I'm not proud of those 4 years, but I have to honestly say, those 4 years, if it weren't for those 4 years of not being active, I don't think I would take my recovery as serious as I do today. How I didn't pick up during that time, I don't know, but for the grace of God, I really have no idea. I put myself in a lot of situations where there were drugs and alcohol, and that I shouldn't have been around, or it could have been easily accessible, or people that didn't know. I mean, I've always lived out loud as far as being in recovery, and even during that time, I was like, yeah, I've been sober for such and such amount of time, but the people that I was with, they didn't really know what that meant, you know what I mean? So anyway, but we often want to criticize people that are dry, okay? But even the dry person, though they may not be making great, vast changes in their life, still has a chance. And the other thing is, they're not making their life worse, right? Like, so they're not, like, out there hurting themselves with substances on a daily basis. So although there's nothing desirable to me about being dry, it is a step in the right direction. Like, let's give merit where merit is due. You know what I mean? And I've met quite a few people that have just put it down and never picked up again, that seem to live pretty happy lives. I met some. And then I question, well, were they really addicts at the time? Like, were they really full-fledged addicts that were chemically dependent, or was it a period of the time? You can be a substance abuser for a period of your life and then be able to put it down, and maybe you didn't have an issue with it, and, you know, maybe I know a lot of people that were, like, hardcore heroin users, and so they get sober, and for, like, 5 years, you know, they go to meetings and they're real active in a 12-step program, and they get off heroin and, you know, all kinds of opioids, and they stop drinking for 5 years because that's what we recommend, you know, and they work a program, they work steps and everything, and then, you know, one day they realize, well, I don't know that maybe, like, I need this, and they stop going to meetings, and which I never recommend, because I don't, you know, like, for me, but I know that I believe that I'm an addict and an alcoholic through and through. But, you know, down the road, they realize, you know, like, maybe I can have a drink. And they try it, and they try controlled drinking, which is what we call it. And we even suggest that. Like, if you think that you don't have a problem with alcohol, try some controlled drinking. And they try it, and they realize, you know, I know people that for a period of their life, it could even be 5 or 10 years, you know, well, maybe not. Heroin addicts don't do great long term, but, like, let's say for 2 years, right? Or meth addicts, and then they get out of it and they turn their life around and they realize they don't need it anymore. And maybe every once in a while they have a drink, or, you know, whatever. Maybe they're on the marijuana maintenance program. If that's what works for them, that's what works for them. I don't judge it. I just know I have to do what works for me. And, why was I getting into all of this? What was I talking about? I don't even remember now what I was talking about. Oh, that comment about being, you know, I started taking pride in being a human being. Okay, so I got on this whole sidetrack about all of that. But I will tell you, if you're somebody out there that just stopped using and just was like, I'm gonna put it down, but I don't need to do anything else, that scares me for you. I just will say your chances of relapse are greater. And I know that at the time that I was in love with my husband and I had people around me, but I was suffering and I was dying inside to some degree, but I don't even know that I was aware of it, that it was that bad. I really don't. If you had asked me at the time, I probably would have said I was pretty happy, but I really wasn't. I was miserable. And I'll tell you the other thing is that this is what I would say to you. If you've never put, you know, the steps or spirituality into your life, just try it. Try it. Because for me, it just took me to another level. You know, it like, or counseling, or like I said, whatever works for you. Try something to fill that gap and see what that's about. You know, we're usually addicts and alcoholics to some degree because we're trying to like heal some kind of pain, you know, I think. But anyway, so I'm not a big believer that you have to have this great desire. You know, when I got sober because I had nowhere to live, and I knew I was going to have nowhere to live if I kept on using. I had pissed off everybody in my life. My dad wouldn't shut up about me needing to change my life. My mom didn't really say anything because she was in her own active addiction. My friends were starting to complain about it, or had been complaining about it for quite some time. You know, I had basically failed out of school, and that which I hadn't failed out of school, I dropped out. You know, I had no future. I was scared of my future. And I didn't know what to do. And this sobriety thing, to some degree, came along at an appropriate time because although I was dying and I didn't even realize it, I mean, the doctor told me my blood alcohol level was so off the charts, I was the walking dead. He used some word like that. I can't remember what he said, the night, I can't remember the word he used, but anyway, it's in that blog post I wrote. But anyway, I shouldn't have been alive. You know, I tested positive on almost everything across the board and all this kind of stuff. It was a mess. And, but I didn't do it because I like woke up the next day. I was like, oh my God, I want to stay sober. Like, I'm so ready. Yes, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick of living that life, but I don't know that I was ready to admit that yet. I knew that. I had known that for quite some time. I had known in my heart and soul, I cannot keep this up for much longer. I'm tired. I'm worn out. This is no way to live. And yet I didn't want to die. I don't know what it was. Like, I've heard a lot of addicts and alcoholics talk about, you know, wanting to die. I didn't want to die. But I didn't want to live either. It was like this weird in-between, you know? And so, I just wanted people off my ass, quite frankly. Like, I thought if I can keep people off my ass for long enough, then maybe at some point, I can go back to using, or I can start smoking pot again, or whatever. Like, you know what's interesting? I don't think tons about smoking pot now since, you know, marijuana is getting so legalized and everything like that, but I was such a pothead. I smoked so much weed back in the day. We didn't call it weed, we called it pot or grass. I smoked so much pot every single day. I smoked pot like almost like cigarettes. I seriously did. I loved smoking pot. I was like high just all the time. I remember my friends would say things to me about, like, what do you call it? Like, being stone sober. I was so stone sober all the time. I'd smoked so much pot, I just was sober. You couldn't even tell I was high anymore. And, but I can remember being in treatment and then my first 6 months and being like, when this is over, I'll at least smoke pot. You know, I'm not gonna, oh, sure, yeah, I'm coming to your meetings. I was real serious. I told everybody what they, you know, wanted to hear. I told everybody what sounded good and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, I'm gonna smoke pot. And I might have me a drink we'll just do beer. That was the kind of stuff I said. I might just do beer, you know? Beer, I could just do beer. I couldn't just do beer. Because one beer was gonna lead to 2 beers, because it wasn't the beer I wanted. It's not like I loved the taste of beer so much. No, I liked the effect. I wanted to get a buzz. But then that buzz turned into this kind of like woozy feeling. that I liked, and I liked, you know, the feeling of my not caring about stuff. And then I liked that going into this place where, you know, if I was home alone drinking, I liked to be walking around, and I liked that, you know. But then I couldn't control when it would stop, and that's the lack of willing, like that's the not being able to stop it, you know, like that's where the addiction really hits. But this is what happens over time. Now, do I think that there's some people that come in and they're like, yes, I want to get sober. Yes, I've had enough. I'm done. Yes, my mother was that person. My mother was somebody that walked into a 12-step program after having tried many times, I think. I found out more about that recently, and said, I've had enough. I don't want to continue to live my life this way. But she had had several attempts before, too, at trying to stay sober, you know? And she said, I don't want to live my life like this anymore. I don't. Like, there's just no kind of living for me. And if I live another year, another day, another 10 years, I want the quality of my life to improve. And she would always say that, right? So she was somebody that came in. Do I think there were people that, like, would wake up out of a stupor or say, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my family. I've lost everything I have. My life is shit. I want to improve my life. Yeah, I do think there are people out there that say that they have a desire. I think there are people that truly do have a desire and they want to get sober. But I don't think it's a requirement. And I don't think it's a requirement, like I said yesterday, to hit your bottom. So let me tell you what happens to all three types, though, right? To the people that do have a desire, to the people that, or more than that, to the people that have hit their bottoms, to the people that haven't hit their bottoms, to the people that have no desire and are just doing it because they're told to, right? Like me, I can speak to that. So what happened over time was, I started realizing, wow, like, I'm not having to come up with all these stories to explain where I was the night before, or why I didn't show up to some family deal, or why I didn't call my dad, or why I didn't turn in a paper. You know, I didn't have to come up with stories anymore. And people smiled when they saw me, and they wanted to see me. You know, I was somebody that, I was more of a burden to everybody, friends included, you know? And I liked doing things like cleaning up ashtrays after a meeting, and I liked, you know, the feeling that somebody wanted to buy me a cup of coffee or buy me a cheeseburger, and not because they wanted to hook up with me, but because they cared about me as a human being and they didn't want me to go hungry, you know? And if they were going to all go out to dinner, well, they were going to buy me a cheeseburger, you know, which is why I love to do that for people today. And I had people that gave me rides, even if it was 40 minutes out of their way, not because they were trying to take advantage of me or hook up with me, which is the only two reasons I thought people wanted anything from me back in the day, right? Not because of any of that, or because, you know, like whatever, but because they were just really good people. And I started seeing that other people were good and did good things and did good deeds and didn't tell anybody about it and weren't doing it because there was some payoff. Because, like, at first I was like, why are they doing this? Like, do they want people to see this? You know, like, what's really going on here? I didn't trust any of it. I wasn't going to tell you nothing about me because I knew you were going to use it against me later. That's how I felt. I didn't trust anybody, and I didn't trust your, you know, whatever you were doing, there was some other reason you were doing it for. I didn't trust it, right? Till I started feeling the same way. And I wanted to do those things, and I wanted to start giving back, and I wanted to start helping other people. And that came real early, y'all. That came within like the first 2 to 3 months, like 3 months maybe, you know, where I wanted to help stack chairs at the end of the meeting, or, you know, like, I wanted to do 12-step calls with somebody. 12-step calls when you, like, go and help an active alcoholic, but you go with somebody that's got some time, right? And they, like, sit down and they tell their story and they help that person and whatever, like I was talking about earlier. You know, I wanted to help. I wanted to be part of something. And it felt good to give back. You know, it felt good to be giving back to others and being part of that. And it felt good for people to trust me. That if, you know, somebody said, okay, you want to go to this meeting tonight? And I said, yeah. And they said, okay, I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock. That when they pulled up, I was outside waiting at 7 o'clock. You know, not listening to my answering machine. I almost said voicemail. Answering machine, you know, at 3 o'clock the next afternoon to them saying, I came by, I knocked on your door, You weren't home. You didn't answer the door. I've been calling all night. Are you okay? I'm worried about you. You know, I like called your dad because I was worried that maybe something happened to you. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, would these people just leave me the F alone? Seriously. God, I was just out. Like, you know, I didn't care that I had disrupted their life or that they were worried about me or they didn't care. I was where I was supposed to be. I suited up and I showed up. And I didn't do that because I'm a great person. I did that because that's what I was told to do. You know, I was told early on, make your bed. I made my bed. I don't make my bed all the time now, but I did in early sobriety, you know. My sponsor would stop by and check and stuff. And I'd see people at meetings and they'd say, hey, how are you? It's good to see you, you know. And I'd see my dad, and my dad was real proud, you know. He didn't trust it. Not for a long time. I'd say about a year. It took my dad about a year, maybe more than a year, to really start trusting it. I think he was really scared. But I would say it was a couple months in, 3 or 4. I mean, this wasn't my first time at the rodeo, you know. But I'd say it was about 3 or 4 months in, and he started. Do I have another battery? Because I'm like halfway through. I can't believe I've talked this much tonight. But I have no idea how long I've vlogged for at this point. He wouldn't say things to me like, I'm really proud of you, or, you know what, I mean, there were not a lot of pats on the back because I think he was so terrified of building up my ego and my pride that then I just took that battery out and now I don't know which one is the used one or which one's... Is this the third battery? Is this my last one? Or did I just take that battery out? I've only changed the battery once, haven't I? Anyway, if it dies, it dies, and I'm in the middle of talking about something, what's the worst thing that's going to happen, you know? You guys will be like, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. So if this does just die in the middle of it, I have no other battery that's charged. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And you know the rest of it. But anyway, you know, there's a saying that we say in sobriety that is, we'll love you until you can love yourself. And I didn't love myself. I didn't care about myself. I thought I was a piece of shit. I could care less about myself. But others allowed me to care about myself. Others allowed me to show up and be of service. And I allowed other people to help me. You know? Well, why would you want to help somebody if that person's a piece of crap? And people would say, you're not a... I would say stuff. I was like self-deprecating, and people would say, why do you talk about yourself that way, you know? And I really didn't get it. I was like, why are people being nice to me when I'm just such a piece of, you know, crap? And it was around that summer, because when I got my 6-month token, I remember, I talk about this on here a lot. I remember I got my 6-month token, and I walked out into the parking lot of the same treatment program that I went through, that I was working at. And I remember I held that coin. I was like, I have never done anything for 6 months consistently in my life, and I hadn't stayed sober longer than a week in my life since I was 12 years old. And I don't honestly know what happened on that night, but something changed. Something changed in me. Like, I started to believe in myself that night. Like, everybody else was believing in me. People in the program were believing in me. I wouldn't necessarily say my family was. And my friends from the past, I didn't really talk to them anymore. 1 or 2. But my friends in recovery, they believed in me. And they built me up. And they loved me until I could love myself. And then I started to believe in myself. But it took a while. And I'm going to say, it wasn't like one day I just turned on a light switch and I started believing in myself. You know, it took me 6 months to just start, you know? And then what I realized was, this need to be popular, this need to be important, this need to matter to, you know, people in a bar, or this need for somebody to think I was cute, or this need for somebody to, like, define me, which I still struggle with all that stuff. I've struggled with it my entire life, you know, and I probably will my whole entire life. Just because you work on stuff doesn't mean you ever have a solution to it. It means you keep on working on it. It means you have tools and skills, and some things you put aside and you don't work on anymore because you've completely finish that project and other things come up. It's just gonna happen, you know? But what I realized was there was a lot of value, like I said last night, in just being, and I think this is what it was referencing, I'm pretty sure. There was a lot of value in just like being a human being, you know? And just living this experience, you know, of having, I believe that word, you know, spiritual beings having a human experience. And all of a sudden, if that comment that I made in the vlog last night was referencing, the people are like, no, Peter, you're talking about something else. Like, this whole conversation is pointless, right? But that was when I started to feel like a human being. I started to feel like a human being again. I started to feel like, I had felt dead for a very long time, okay? And I don't mean wanting to. I mean, I don't know that I had any emotions. I felt flat. I didn't care if I took a shower or didn't take a shower. I didn't care if I got out of bed. You know, I wanted to get out of bed and take a shower and get dressed and go to the bar and hang out with all my good friends and whatever the night had for me. But if I didn't really care either. I didn't really care about anything. I literally was like the Walking Dead. I was just putting one foot in front of the other. I didn't care. I really did not care about anything. It wasn't, what's it called? Apathy? It wasn't like that I had given up. It was like Peter got lost somewhere. Where was he? And all of a sudden, I started feeling alive again. You know, I started feeling like I cared. I cared about my mom. I cared about my dad. I cared about how I had affected my mom and my dad and my stepmom, you know? I cared about how I had made them afraid. I cared about my mom and I's relationships as two alcoholics together. I cared about people and friends of mine in my life that I had hurt, you know? And I cared about my well-being. I wanted to live again. And not only, the battery is about to die. And not only did I want to live, but I wanted to live this amazing life. And I remember I was sitting in a meeting, and I can't remember when it was. It wasn't like at the 6-month mark, but it may have been. I think it was more like 2 or 3 months in, but it might have been the 6-month mark. I don't remember. But I was listening to this lead, and I can remember kind of making a pact with God. And I was like, okay, you want me to do this thing? You want me to stay sober? Can you imagine me making a pact with God? I was like, okay, you want me to stay sober? I'm gonna tell a story and then I'm gonna close my video. So if the battery is dead, this is what we get right here, okay? It's just gonna end in the middle of it. But I remember making this pact with God, and I was like, okay, you want me to do this thing? You want me to do this deal and stay sober? Okay, I'll do this. But if I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna have an amazing life. Like, I'm gonna make something of my life. Like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna contribute. My dad's always talked about contributing to the world. I'm gonna contribute to the world on some level. I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna have the life that I wanna have. I'm gonna be surrounded by people that love me. And I'm gonna have a family of choice and my family of origin. And I'm gonna have a place that I love to live in and I'm proud to call my home. And, you know, and I'm gonna be a good person and I'm gonna do these things. And, you know, like, and I'm gonna have like an exciting life and travel and see things. If I'm gonna stay sober, damn it, that's what it's gonna look like. Like, I'm not gonna be sober to sit in these rooms for the next 40 years of my life. And look at me 25 years later, I'm still sitting in these rooms. But you know what? I have that. I have that life today, and I'm so happy about it, you know? And that's being a human being. Like, that is taking pride in being a human being. Taking pride in this life that we were given. And listen, if you're in a dark space and you've gone down a dark road where you can't say that right now or you can't be there, I get it. Whether it's from mental health issues or addiction issues or just sadness or trauma or whatever, but you can get back. You can get back to that place. And you can sit there and say, I love my life today. And I don't love my life every day. There's crap that happens in my life every single day that I don't love. But most days, I have to say, I feel real, real blessed. And today, I have to say, is one of those days. I feel really, really blessed. So thank you guys for acknowledging what I said, because it really made me obviously think a lot about this, and I really, really appreciate it. I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget those early... Y'all, I cannot believe it, okay? I pulled in here to change my battery, and I think this is a full battery. So I went through these other two. I put one in and it was like dead. And I was like, you cannot tell me that this is dead, right? So I went in and I was trying to figure out like how many, what do you call it? Like how much time I had been like, shoot, what am I trying to say? How much time I had been recording. And so like I went through and I was like, okay, that's 29 minutes. And then I went through and I was like, that's 29 minutes. And I went through and I was like, okay, I stopped it here, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I think I'm like at 3 hours and something right now. I'm like, oh, no. I think I have like 25 minutes left. I'm like, I'm hitting the 3-hour mark tonight. I can't believe it. I'm gonna do the 3-hour vlog. I cannot believe it. If this vlog, where did my lip gloss go? I don't have any lip gloss. Should be here on Sunday. Oh, here it is. Here's my lip balm. But I'm like, if I make the 3-hour vlog, I am gonna be so expensive. I'm gonna be so excited. And then it is totally worth me staying up. For all of the people out there that said I would never do it, and all the people that laughed at me for even considering it. Lisa, and in the Cult Jam. Lisa, in the Cult Jam. Lisa, in the Cult Jam. You get your 3-hour vlog tonight, gal. I love you. Anyway, she commented on my drama video, and I was like, Lisa, so we're gonna try to keep on vlogging for a little while here, at least 25 minutes. I hope my battery lasts that long. It says it's full, but I don't know. Okay, so what I was gonna say was, I'm starting to have to go to the bathroom, so I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't drink anymore, but this Diet Coke is so good. I wish I had another one. I was gonna actually bring 2 tonight. If I knew that it was gonna be a 3-hour vlog, I would have brought 2. Now you guys will be like, a 4-hour vlog. Anyway, I don't even, now I'm like, what do I title this video? Here's what you asked for. I don't know what I'll title it. Here's what you've all been asking for. Anyway. I don't want to forget those early days when simply like being alive again was enough for me. When simply being grateful for being alive, being grateful for this life that I had been given, being grateful to have a relationship with my mom and my dad and my stepmom again, which, like, that, you know, I think that's like, to the normal person that's not gone through like that and just grew up and had good relationships, you know, and I'm blessed because I had loving relationships, but there was a brick wall there between my dad and I for a long time, you know, that I just don't think that, you know, he could see over for a while. And I think it's taking value in the simple things in life that you had forgotten along the way. I think it's taking value in the things that seem meaningless that are actually the most meaningful, you know. And it's like today, I'm like looking, I thought it's at 43 minutes. I was like, I know I haven't been, I just started this thing. You know, it's like today, the things that mean the most to me are really the simplest, smallest kind of moments, you know? They aren't things that have vast meaning or, you know, like, it's the small things that, I mean, we say that, right? And, like, it's easy to say, but then it's, like, sometimes, like, you ask yourself, like, do you really believe that, you know? And then I think to myself, but, like, let me situate this. But then I think to myself, you know, if you could have, like, I'm trying to think of something that, like, you know, is, like, those shoes I bought, like, in, what is the deal? This thing won't stay. Like, those shoes I bought in Dallas. I mean, I would have kept on looking at them until I bought them, you know? And I don't ever buy anything on that level, hardly ever. But that was stupid. Like, let's just be for real. That was stupid. I didn't need those. Do you know where those have been since Dallas? They've been in a cotton bag in my closet. I was gonna wear them to Ultra. I was gonna wear them to Miami. Well, that didn't happen. I was gonna wear them to Las Vegas. Well, that didn't happen. If I had to give up a night driving around with Tanya versus those shoes, I'd give those shoes up in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? I like the shoes. I think they're cute. I do. I like them. And I really liked, you know, when I said this, I think, in a drama video. I really liked in Schitt's Creek. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but there's a scene in Schitt's Creek where Alexis, the sister and the daughter, she finds out that somebody has like a ton of money, right? But won't spend any of it. And she says to this person, she says, she says, why don't you spend the money? And the person says something to the degree of, because this isn't until the very last season, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But this person says, because I'm not really, like, I don't care about those things, you know, like, it's something to that effect. Like, I don't need that, doesn't make me happy, or I can't remember how it's said, but something to that degree, you know? And so she's like, yeah, I get it, and she's kind of like, but you can tell she kind of doesn't. But, like, Alexis is actually a character on the show that grows the most, from being this person that's such a spoiled brat to realizing her own self-worth, which I think is just such a great thing to be able to witness in somebody, you know, when they start recognizing their own self-worth and seeing all of that. But, she says, the line she says to the person at the end of the scene is, you know, I appreciate all that and, you know, whatever, but, like, you know what? Every once in a while, treat yourself to something really, really nice, because it'll make you smile. And maybe it won't change the world, but maybe it'll make you smile for that moment. And I do think that's true, you know? I think whether it's, you know, a book that we've been waiting to, you know, because, you know, spend $25 on a book, or, you know, a trip that you've been saving to take, you know, or whatever, or if it's a luxury bag that you want, or some makeup item, or whatever it is for you. Like, for me, I love, like, you know, colognes that are nice, or whatever. Every once in a while, it's okay to do that. That doesn't make you completely superficial. That doesn't make you somebody that, like, you don't have to live this simple, completely simple, just life, you know, minimalist life, to be a person that feels of the world, you know? My aunt has this friend, well, I'll leave that story for another time. But anyway, I know a lot of really just diehard, good, salt of the earth people that also like nice things, but they're not consumed by it, and there's a difference. And I will also say this, there's like a real appreciation for all kinds of, like, there are people that like all kinds of things, you know, like they equally like a $3 bouquet of flowers from the grocery store versus, you know, like the most incredible floral sculpture you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, they're appreciative of almost everything. It's like sometimes these people that I know that are like that, like, that's what I want to be. Like, I want to be appreciative of everything. I want to see the wonder and the awe of it all, you know? Like, I don't want to see something and be like, well, I'm so above it, I'm bored by that, you know, or like, you know what I mean? I want to be excited by all of it. You know, I've known so many people, too, in my life. Like, my aunt was somebody that my aunt loved clothes. Both my mom and my aunt loved clothes. But my mom was very more like, my mom loved to go into, like, little small boutiques and things like that and buy, like, pieces. Like, she loved, like, artsy pieces, and she loved, like, you know, different designers and things like that, too. She really was into fashion. My mom she's the one that had all the magazines when I was growing up that I would read, right? She knew all the fashion designers, and she loved that stuff. But she really liked, my mom had more eclectic style the majority of her life. As she got older, she wore a lot of black, and hot pink were, like, her two things that she wore, and she kind of had, like, a uniform costume that she wore most days, but, which was, like, you know, just, like, these black, like, not leggings, but, like, black, like, what do you call, like, she called them paddle pushers, but they came, like, to her ankles, and she wore, like, a black v-neck t-shirt, and, like, some kind of sweater or something over it, the glasses, and, she wore contacts for a long time, but towards the end of her life, she didn't wear contacts as much anymore. But my aunt was somebody that was, like, impeccably dressed always and had incredible style and loved like very high-end clothes. I mean, she loved, you know, like, she just loved it all. I mean, she loved the Chanel and the Tom Ford and, you know, St. John and Christian Lacroix and all. I mean, she loved all of that stuff. She's probably one of the most giving people I've ever met in my entire life. And although she had like such an appreciation for, I mean, she would get so excited just like showing me like a suit that she had gotten. She'd be like, I got the suit and I'm wearing it for this. And she'd be so excited about it, right? Like this suit that she got. And, but it didn't define her. And she just was such an amazing person, but she liked nice things. And you know, it was funny because when I was reading the book, this actually reminded me of my aunt. When I was reading the book, The House of Impossible Beauties, that I just recently read, that was about Angie Extravaganza, although in the book her name is Angel Extravaganza, and like, but about the House of Extravaganza and like Extravaganza, or however they pronounce it in the book, I don't remember. But anyway, and like from Paris is Burning and all that, you know, the drag balls. There's this whole thing throughout the whole book. Like when she meets Hector Extravaganza, they go into Saks, and he says, he takes her up to the Chanel department because she like wants a Chanel suit, because like if she has a Chanel suit, then that will like, or a Chanel dress, then that will like that defines like who she, like she's made it, like she is somebody then, right? And through the whole book, she wants this Chanel suit so bad. And there are like several times in the book, I'm even looking at that battery because I'm so afraid it's gonna die. But several times in the book, she like has saved enough money to, like in the book, they like prostitute on the Christopher Pierce and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's very factual. Like she talks all this money she saved and all this kind of stuff. She has another job as well, but like, she'll get to a point where she saved enough money. I don't think many people are going to read this book, and it wouldn't really change it for you if I told this part. But like at one point, she saved enough money for a Chanel suit, finally, and somebody in her house dies. And so anyway, I don't want to say who it is, but anyway, somebody in her house dies, and she, because Hector Extravaganza, who is the father of the house, her partner, didn't get to have a funeral, and he went to this, oh, why can't I remember the island now? Hart Island, and was buried, where if you don't have money for a funeral or anything like that, guess where they take you in New York City? There's a whole part where they talk about it in there. So she's like, I'm not doing that to somebody again. Like, they're gonna have you know, whoever dies in my house is gonna have a funeral. And so she goes to this funeral home. It's just a real hard part. She saved all this money for this Chanel suit. She takes all this money, and it's not enough. And the guy's like real nice, and he's like, well, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. But through her whole life, she saves money for the Chanel suit that she thinks will make her somebody. And then every time she gets, I mean, it's such a symbol in the book. And every time she gets right to the point to buy this suit, she can't afford it. Well, it flashes forward at the end of the book, and she's like near the end of her life, and it's not doing well health-wise. And one of the members of her house, that's like a character throughout the whole book, like he comes to take care of her, and they're like on the bus, and she has this like Chanel suit that she bought like 3 years before, and she's like talking about it as if it's brand new, and she's worn it so much that it's like tattered, and the buttons are falling off and all this kind of stuff, but she's still so proud of it because in her head, like, it defines for her that she's made it. And he says something to her in the book: you never needed the dress. You had it before you ever even thought about that dress, or something like that. And I can remember reading that part, and I thought, you know, I grew up around a lot of, you know, these Jane and Vivians that I do, they're like jokes on characters, but they're like women that I knew growing up, you know? friends of my aunts and moms and whatever, I knew a lot of women that I grew up with that had their fair share of 5 or 6 Chanel suits sitting in their closet, right? Bitches. Just rude, not nice, not kind people. So it doesn't define you. You know, and then I also know a few people that have very nice clothes and, you know, whatever, and sure, you know, like, it doesn't change who they are at all. So I don't think it really does have to, what we learn from that is either way, it doesn't define us, you know? It's nice to have nice things sometimes, but I just don't want to become to the point where I feel like I have to have it, you know what I mean? I think this has been nice for me the last 2 months. Like, I was saying to a friend of mine on the phone, I said, it's becoming summer, and I'm, like, starting to want to shop. Like, there's things I want. And she was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, well, there's some things I am going to buy. And she was like, what? And I was like, I'm going to buy, like, 2 pairs or 3 pairs of these Birkenstock plastic sandals, because that's literally all I have been wearing. Like, literally since, like, February, March. I mean, they're cracked and ripped. I need new pair. My black ones, are unwearable at this point. So I am going to do that, and, like, I think I'm going to get a pair of clogs, too, like the plastic Birkenstock clogs. But I said, you know, like, I want this lip gloss. I want some nice kind of lip gloss. But, I mean, you know, like a $20 lip gloss. I bought this. I might love the one I get. It's Revlon, I think. And I want stuff for my squirrel table, and I want to make my patio nice. And she started laughing, and I was like, what? And she goes, well, I thought you were going to say, like, shop for, like go out and spend, like, you know, a couple $1,000. I said, oh no, like, no, you know. But, like, this being at home and just being with the dogs and stuff has been so nice, because it's really slowed down things, and it's really made me realize how very little I need, you know? Like, I don't need anything. I really don't. And I feel so blessed. Like, I just feel so amazingly blessed to have the life that I do, and that, you know, I'm healthy, and my friends and family are healthy today, thank God. We know we're only promised today. And, you know, my dogs are healthy, and I miss the crap out of Pipi. You know, I was watching videos and stuff of him today, and, oh, I'll tell you what I did. This was 2 nights ago. Was it 2 nights ago that did the video on the night my mom passed away? So it's Friday, Wednesday, yeah. I got off doing that vlog. Let me tell you what I watched, okay? I can't believe I did this to myself, but I went back, and I have to tell you, when I talk to YouTubers and they're like, oh, I go back in my favorite videos, and I go back and I don't go back and watch my videos. I just don't. I go back and I watch them before I post them sometimes, but not all of them. I don't typically. I mean, sometimes I don't, but I typically do on my drama channel. Like, I'll watch it before I post it. But, and that's usually to see if I included, like, you know, a screenshot or something, and sometimes if I have forgotten, I'm just like, forget it, I'm not going back in there and doing that. But, is the battery still going? Okay, I can't believe it. But, you know, at the same time, like, I don't go in and I don't, at the same time, that made no sense. I don't go in and I don't watch my videos back very often, like, very, very rarely. Actually, it's interesting because people are always like, I was looking at some of my videos on my channel, and people always say to me, they're like, can you show pictures of yourself when you were a kid? Can you show pictures of yourself, like, when you're growing up and going to school? And I actually did an entire video, and the thumbnail of it, I don't know what it's called, but the thumbnail is, one side is like a picture of me from, like, 8th or 9th grade, and the picture on the other side is me from, like, 10th grade, I think, or 7th and 8th, and then 9th and 10th, or something like that. I can't remember. I wasn't late in high school. It might have been like 6th and 7th grade or something. I don't know. But it was about me being bullied in high school, and it was so funny because I went and looked, and the video has been up for like 3 years, and it has like hardly any views on it from, you know, like what I usually get on that channel. And I was like, this is so funny. This is one of my least viewed videos. And like, that was a video that I can remember when I made. Like, it was really like, when I was done with it, I kind of was like, wow, that was like really freeing for me to make. But the other night, I was really thinking about Pipi when I got off here. And I went back and I watched my update video when I was in Mexico, where I just kind of was like I think it's called checking in or something. And then I watched my video that I did when I came back, where I like showed the pictures and I talked about the things that I had learned about Pipi. He was such an amazing little guy, you know? He was such an amazing dog. My best friend in the whole world. I miss him so much, little guy. I always think about him at the most random times. It's so funny, you know? Our neighbor's got a puppy. He's so sweet. I was talking to her, I can't remember when. They had this old golden retriever. It was so funny because Tucker liked him, but Boo Radley would just like at him and stuff like that. So we hadn't seen each other outside, you know, like in forever. And this was like a month ago, I think. I don't know. I hadn't talked to her since probably December, the beginning of January or something like that. I mean, we hadn't been outside. It'd been cold and stuff, you know. That's my neighbor right to my left. And so I asked her, I said, you know, where's he at? I haven't seen him. She's like, he passed away. We were telling our stories, you know, and stuff, and she's so sad. And she's like, you know, we've been really wanting to get another dog. She was like, but we're not, we know it's so much work, and we're not really sure we want to get one, and we're getting older. I said, my God, you just retired. They early retired, too. And I asked her today, because we talked for a little bit. She was like way over in her driveway. She got a little puppy. It's a little basset hound. He's so cute. And and all these neighbors were walking down the streets, and then she'd tell them, and she'd be like, I got a puppy. It's really funny. I'm becoming quite neighborly. I like it. I don't know why. I don't know why it's something that I'm like taking pride in being neighborly, but like when I first moved in there, like nobody would really talk to us and stuff, and now people are like, hey Peter, hey, I mean everybody knows us now, and the majority of the people in there, not everybody, but the majority of the people, and they're like always like, hey Alex, hey Peter, and he knows a lot of people that I don't know. Like people just are, they've become real friendly in the neighborhood. It's nice. The average age has kind of like moved down, I would say, the last 5 years, sadly. A lot of people have passed away, and so a lot of people are moving in. I said it's like a retirement neighborhood, but I joke about that, but it's where people come. It has like a beautiful pool. It has 2 nice tennis courts. It's seemingly very safe in there. You know, a lot of the condos are on the lake. People love it. It's very slow, no traffic hardly through there, you know, whatever. And so people love it, and so these condos, like, don't even, like, they're up for sale and then they're gone. Like, you know, somebody will be like, oh, my friend heard about it and whatever. I asked her, the guy across the street did move. She had heard about it from the people across that are next to them. And she said, yeah, we heard that a couple, like, our age is moving in. So, like, they're in, like, their late, I think she just said she turned 60. She just turned 60, and he just turned 60. And then, they're literally just retired. And, like, he had gone back and forth for a while between where they lived before and another state, and then, like, they just moved here. She lived there, and then he just got here permanently in, like, February or March. We were laughing because my other neighbor, Laura, who's been in some of my videos, like, her grandma would be like, I heard she has a husband, but I've never seen him. Like, she didn't believe, and I would tell her, I'd be like, she doesn't believe that you have a husband. So anyway, so like when she, like, he was there for, you know, he would come like for a week or 2 at a time, but then when he was there finally for good, she introduced him. She's like, this is my husband. I don't know if you've ever met him, but anyway, yeah, they got this new little dog. It's so sweet. Oh wait, she was like, A new couple bought it. I was like, he literally just moved out like 3 days ago. Like, I saw him in the house, and then that afternoon the U-Haul was there, and then he's not there anymore. And I even said to her, I said, you could always see his computer on in that. And she goes, in that room? And I go, yeah. She goes, yeah, at night. And she's like, yeah, he moved out. She's like, I don't know. She was like, we don't know what happened, if something happened to his wife or whatever, because his wife was in assisted living for a while. He wasn't, I don't think he was that old. Like, I knew he was older, but I don't think he was like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was older. I don't know. Maybe he went into assisted living with her. Hell, I don't know. He was a real nice guy. But anyway, so she goes, but a new couple bought it, and they're moving in, and they're about our age. And she was like, our age. So like the house across the street. And I said, oh, really? And I think that's what's happening, is that like a lot of people that are like around retirement age, like, you know, late 50s, early 60s, like they move in and then they stay there for 20 years and then they move out, you know, like move out or moved out, I guess, or whatever. And then like a new group comes in, because it's always like that kind of age group that comes in. Like, we're definitely one of the, well, Laura's probably the youngest person in the neighborhood. And then I think there's like 2 single moms that have like young kids. young. But no, they have like young kids that are like this one woman has like her 2 little daughters that are like, they're swimming at the pool sometimes and stuff. She's really a nice woman. She's real sweet. I think she might be a school teacher or something. But Alex was talking to her one day, and she like got recently divorced or something. She was telling him her whole life story. And oh my God, you guys, I think I passed 3 hours. I think I might have passed 3 hours. I cannot believe it. I'm like so scared to stop now, because like I'm like, if I go home and like it doesn't equal 3 hours, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I honestly do not know what I'm gonna do if I get home and it doesn't equal 3 hours. So I think I'm gonna go through, it's at 26 minutes and 53 seconds or something like that. I'll go through the 29 and a half or 30 minutes, and then I'll like do my closing then. But yeah, like you know, I think that's part of that, starting to take pride again in being just a human being, you know, and just the act of living and being able to interact with people and just liking the simple things in life and being appreciative of that and being grateful for what you have, and, you know, and being grateful for your neighbors. Like, I feel like we've become a society where we're like, we don't talk to people, we don't interact with people anymore, you know, like I was saying about my neighbor earlier, it's like we don't make pies for people in the neighborhood. You know, we don't just do things. And, you know, it's like, I want to go back to that front porch mentality. I want to go back to that. We just seem like so divided anymore, the world does, you know? No matter what your opinion on some world issue is or belief, it's like we're so divided. Like, if we could just come together a little bit more, I don't know, maybe that's stupid. Maybe that's dreamy to think that way. I guess it probably is. Maybe the world's always been divided. I don't know. But, you know, like, I always think about, like, Scout and Jim and Dill walking through, you know, their town and hiding behind, you know, Atticus's pant leg, you know. And Scout talking to, you know, the neighbor. And Dill coming to visit in the summer. Like, I miss that kind of neighborhood, you know. I don't know. And I think the more I get to know my neighbors, the more it is that way. And I like it. It makes me happy. It makes me feel safe. You know, like when all the police cars come out and stuff, like we all go out there and we're like standing around, like, what's going on? You know, introducing ourselves to each other and talking. And then people drive by and they'll, you know, walk by and they'll, you know, on their bikes or whatever, walking their dogs or whatever they're doing. They'll see me, they'll be like, hi. And I like that. It makes me happy. And I guess I just don't want or need for a whole lot right now or anymore in my life, you know? And I think I've really realized that lately. And I'll tell you one thing I don't need. I don't need a 3-hour vlog because I just completed it. Can you even believe it? I can hardly believe it. I'm kind of really excited to read the comments that are like, I cannot believe. Oh my God, 3 hours, 3 hours. And then, of course, there'll be the people that can't stand it. They'll be like, I cannot believe he's vlogged for 3 hours. Who does he think he is? I think I'm Peter Monn, and I kind of like myself. That's who I am. I think I talked longer than Titanic tonight. You know what's crazy is, It really doesn't seem like it's been that long. It really doesn't. It's gonna stop. I knew it was gonna stop. I'm wondering how long this is gonna take to upload on YouTube. Okay. I'm praying that I have gone long. If I swear to God, if I get this home and I put it into render and it comes to like 2 minutes and 58 seconds or 2 hours and 58 minutes, I'm coming back out and I'm recording 4 more minutes. There's no way. This is I'm making 3 hours tonight. So anyway. I'm gonna get off here now. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you made it through the entire thing. This was so much fun. I had such a great time tonight. I love you guys so much. I really do. This vlog has just changed my life, and I feel blessed for each and every single one of you that give me a place to come and just be my silly, stupid self and tell stories and cry my eyes out and laugh and remember movies that were so stupid that I watched, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, just thank you so much for that I have this place to do that. And, you know, if it wasn't for you guys watching, I wouldn't be making this vlog anymore at this point. You know what I mean? And I always said, if there's 5 people watching, I'll be making this vlog. Well, damn it, there's still 5 people watching, so I'm still making this vlog. And thank you, because I love this channel. I love this channel so much. I have so much fun. This place is so cathartic for me, and it's such a great place for me to come, and I love reading your comments, and I know you guys in the comment sections now and stuff, so thank you so much. And if you've made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up, a big thumbs up. Here you go, playing video game thumbs up. Give me a video game thumbs up. And even, you know what, like, even if you're one of my big haters out there, could you at least give me a thumbs up tonight, maybe, for the fact that I actually filled some people's request? I know you don't like me, and that's okay. We don't have to like everybody. Could you maybe once just try real hard to be nice just once, okay? And maybe switch that dislike to a like just once, okay? Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. I'm gonna have still just the same amount of people out there disliking the video. But maybe just once you could switch it from a dislike to a like, just because I met some people's requests and did a 3-hour vlog. Just tonight. I'm just asking for tonight, okay? Then you go on hating me for the rest of the life, okay? Anyway. Also, please, so give me a big thumbs up, like I said, video game thumbs up, and hit that like button, and then also make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel, please. All of my channels, it would really mean a lot to me. And when I wake up tomorrow and I'm trending, Peter Monn does 3-hour vlog. He's lost his mind. I have so lost my mind, and I don't care. It was so much fun. Anyway, I don't know why I'm getting such a kick out of this. I'm just really happy about it. It's really fun. I really never, honestly, I was like, I kind of aimed for it a couple times, and I was like, oh, this is going to be really hard. And then there were a couple nights I was like, okay, I'll vlog like an hour earlier in the day. But I literally, when I sat down tonight, I thought, I'm doing an hour, and that's it. I'm going to bed early. But it's 4:30, and it's still early. And so some nights I haven't even started my vlog yet. Isn't that crazy? Okay. So anyway, I can't believe this happened tonight. I totally didn't expect it. So, please make sure that you're subscribed to all of my channels. I already said like the video, didn't I? Video game thumbs up, yeah. Anyway, and also, please make sure that you're subscribed to this channel and all of my channels. I would really appreciate it. Especially you, Lisa, and the Cult Jam. And, she had her wish fulfilled. And, there's another Lisa out there that asked for it too. She said, I'm a Lisa and I want a 3-hour vlog. And please, tonight of all nights, could we just flood the comment sections for me, the essential workers, for everybody out there, for you, for the wolf pack, for everybody? Can we just flood the comment section with blue comments? I mean, I want to go to that comment section to see blue hearts, blue hearts, blue hearts, blue hearts all over the place. So anyway, and let's see, what else was I gonna say? What else do I do? I don't even know. Okay, the next thing is, let's see. Yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday, but why wouldn't you? Because I did a 3-hour vlog. No, I hope you're having an amazing Saturday unless you have other plans. But like I always say, do not have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something fun. Do something exciting. Go out on a limb and try something new. Try a craft. Don't do a painting, say don't cry. Do a painting that says, smile. That's gonna be my next artistic endeavor. Just do something fun, do something exciting today, relax. Don't do it. Relax, eat some ice cream, watch a Netflix series. Do something also that will make yourself proud when you look back on it. Do something that will make yourself look proud when you look back on it tomorrow, or in a day or two, or next day, or I can't even speak anymore. I'm so, God, I can't believe I did this tonight. This is crazy. Or next week, or next year, or next month, or 10 years, or 60 years, or 69 years, family friendly. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you, and I am valuable, and I matter, and I have worth in this world today. And it was a long time I couldn't say that. Today I can. And every night before you go to bed, say tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. And I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day tomorrow. And my day is going to be full of laughter and opportunity and exciting new things that are going to come my way that are going to be so positive in my life. And if my day gets off track, I can always start my day over whenever I want. And when you wake up every morning, look in the mirror and say, I love you, you are valuable, you are important, you matter. Today is going to be an amazing day. You're going to be happy, joyous, and free all day today. And if your day gets off track, your day is going to be full of great opportunities and exciting new prospects for positive things in your life. Smiles and laughter. And the best of the simple things in life. And if my day gets off track, I can start my day over whenever I want. Most importantly, make sure that you reach out to at least one person today and let them know how much they mean to you. Did you write them a card or a letter the other day like we talked about? I did not, so I will tell it myself. I did not. But I'm going to. And there was a car just like stalled in the middle of the road up here. Or is it kind of like moving slowly with its hazard lights on? No, it's just stalled. Why is that? It's outside of his car. Does stuff fall out? Oh, it's like a work truck. We're taking stuff down. But don't forget to let somebody know how much they mean to you today. And practice random acts of kindness. But like I always say, don't forget, don't tell anyone. That's the important part. Don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do and it's a good thing to do. And it's nice to put goodness and love and compassion and kindness out there in the world and to try to be the best version of ourselves that we can be every single day. We're going to fall short. And we have to forgive ourselves and get up the next day and try a little bit better, try a little bit harder to be the best versions of ourselves we can do every single day. It's not easy. It's not, you know. And I think that's it. And this was a long outro, 8 minutes and 37 seconds. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. I didn't even say bye. Love you. So of course, on the 3-hour vlog, I have to come back for a very final I love you, extra I love you, for all of you that are always waiting for it. So for all of you out there, okay, for all of you, for you, even you, no, for all of you, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Bye. Love ya.